All right, good evening. It is 7:09 PM. This open meeting of the Grafton Zoning Board of Appeals is being conducted both remotely and in person, consistent with the temporary provisions of the open meeting law, which extends remote meeting protocols through March 31st, 2027. This meeting is convening via Zoom video conference and in person as posted on the meeting agenda, which can be found on the Town of Grafton website. Please see the meeting agenda for details on how to participate remotely. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. All participation within this meeting will be visible to others. Accordingly, please be aware that other people may be able to see you and that you should take care not to screen share your computer. Anything you broadcast may be captured by the recording of this meeting and rebroadcast at a later date. This meeting may feature public comment. Anyone attending virtually, if you'd like to request acknowledgement to speak, please use the raise hand feature in Zoom. The meeting administrator will enable you to speak when it's your turn. For those on the phone exclusively, the meeting administrator will enable you to speak. For those in person, we ask you to step up to the podium to speak, and all speakers, please state your name and address prior to your comments or questions. And each vote taken in this meeting will be done by a roll call vote. So with that, I will turn it over to Mr. McCusker.
Thank you. So I think the only on the agenda is Snow Road case, whatever the number is, and 910. So at this time, does the applicant have anything that they want to introduce or discuss?
Good evening. My name is Jason Panos, for the record, practicing law at 246 Andover Street, Peabody, Massachusetts. I'm joined by the project team, John Grenier from Grenier and Associates, our project engineer, and project principal sitting behind me, Steve and Jim Bencasa and Cohen Babcock. Before we get into the substance of tonight, I think it's a good idea to bring you guys up to speed with what we've been doing over the past month. There have been a couple of meetings, a couple of interactions between John and Conservation, between Cohen and neighbors, and I think through you I'd like to invite them to the podium to talk about where they're at. John's to my right, so I'll ask him to start.
Yeah, we had Matthew Mara, who's our environmental consultant. We had a meeting with the conservation agent and her assistant on Wednesday, yesterday morning, and to discuss some of their requests as part of the conditions for this permit. As part of, or the result of that meeting is they are going to be making some modifications to their requests, and they will be drafting those up. It was a day before the hearing, so obviously that wasn't going to happen by tonight, but in short order, they will be making some modifications to their request for the permit for this project.
So these are modifications to their requests that impact our conditions, I guess?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and some of that has to do with the conditions that are put on our permit from Natural Heritage in terms of monitoring, all of what is entailed in terms of their permit. There is overlap with what some conservation requests were, so based on that, we had a very good discussion with them. And so they'll be providing some modifications. So in terms of how that rides into tonight's discussion, we'd like to table that portion of it because there's going to be some modifications to that.
So certain conditions, when we get to them, we just skip over a table. Is that
In terms of, what was part of our conservation agent's suggested language and things to do with wetland protection.
okay.
Before I ask Cohen to step up, has there been any communication from the fire department? I know you were waiting for some feedback.
Yep, I did post it, so He said there is no requirement of a distance between them, but the fire department has the same amount of concern regarding this as it would with any other building in town. Where the further apart the buildings are, the less likely the radiant heat in the event of a fire would involve a second sprinkler.
So we have in our packet right now emails from Thursday, May 14th and Monday, May 11th. Have you not seen these?
I have not seen those, no.
I thought I emailed them all to you guys. I put them all, after I posted them, I could have swore I sent an email with all of these comments. I may not have, but I could have swore I did.
I don't recall seeing them, and
Okay,
there may have, you know,
because I could have, after I scanned them all in and posted them, I could have swore I sent an email with all these comments, but I will get them to you.
okay.
So basically, what Mike is saying is, there's no code requirement, but they would prefer they be a little farther apart because of radiant heat could start another one on.
Are we talking about the garages?
Yes.
Okay. And was that the only comment he had? Because I thought you were
Yep.
waiting for feedback from them on the type of surface for the periphery fire road, and there were a couple of other things you were waiting for him to weigh in on? No? That's it?
I don't know
Okay.
that we actually posed that question to him.
You didn't?
No.
I know they wanted the
It was-
solid, I mean, when we met with them, they said they wanted the solid surface. It wasn't gonna be, we couldn't have it be, you know, it can't be grass, it can't be something that's, and something that's plowable, so.
Right.
Okay.
So
you know,
we have, that's in a mail, right there. I think I even pointed out,
I
there's a mail somewhere where it says,
It needs to be a plowable surface that's maintained year-round.
All right. Okay, may I please ask Cohen to step up to the podium?
Just while we're on the fire department too.
Yes.
We brought it up at the last meeting. There was an email from April 14th with concerns about the turning radius by garage number 7. And I know when we brought it up, I believe Katrina had forwarded that email then. So I believe that's still open, unless it's been addressed.
John, that was the one with the apparatus just has to be shifted on the model. There
Oh,
was
yeah.
there was 5 feet on one side, but 1 foot on the other.
Right, right.
Okay.
All right, Colin Babcock. Address? Boylston, Mass. So after the last meeting, I sought out, we had the discussions about the landscape and the coverage of the 3 residences. It was 18 Snow Road, 25 Suzanne Terrace, and then I'm not sure what the other address is on Suzanne Terrace, but the one up behind the pond. I sought out all 3 of those abutters. 2 of them were willing to share their contact information with me and set up a meeting. One of them wasn't willing to share their contact. So I did meet with, first I met with Tim Querga of 25 Suzanne Terrace. We went over, we walked the property line. We looked at where the plantings would be, what they would be. We discussed it. We came to the agreement that he was okay with what was proposed on the plan, the arborvitaes on his property line. So I left him. Then I went over and met with 18 Snow Road. His name is Alex DeSimone. So I met with Alex. Me and Alex walked the property line. He wasn't particularly sure. It wasn't as clear on his property line as it was for Tim's. There's some trees that we're going to probably save there, some we won't. And it wasn't, quite apparent which ones would be saved and wouldn't be saved. So he wasn't necessarily sure if a fence would be good for him or the arborvitaes or infill the approved landscape plan. So what I left it with him is he was okay with that we would do a fence or infill for him as approved on the landscape plan to be approved by you guys prior to building permit. So when the time came, I'd reach out to him. Once we did the clearing, we'd identified what the infill would be. He could make the decision, I'd rather have a fence, and then we'll put a fence on the landscape plan, and you guys can approve it. And he was okay with that.
seems like we should have language for like all the abutters that kind of talks to that. That, they'll work with,
Well,
the developer will work with in some way. I mean, I don't want to sign you guys up for,
Well, that's the
Overkill,
thing.
right?
The other abutters, we walked the whole property line, and so the house to the left of 25, the wood line to their yard is about, it starts out at about 15 feet or so and grows to about 25 feet or so. And then to the right of 25, it's like 25 feet of wood line from the property line to where their yard starts. And then the next property in front of, right behind 18, it's kind of an L-shaped lot that goes out to Snow Road. And there's not even, their yard's not even remotely close. It's like 60, 80 feet away because it's just a piece of land that's back there not being utilized.
Could you pull that up?
Yep, I'm
Yeah,
doing
it's-
it as we speak. Oh, also FYI, the email was sent May 21st. It was
It
sent
was?
to Dan, Jeff, and all of you,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
with all the recent attachments, so,
What was the date of that, Katrina?
May 21st.
The only trouble with that is if it's kind of tied to what's gonna happen, tied to the building permit, and the abutter changes their mind,
Right. That's-
that leaves you hanging.
I
That
agree.
isn't
I agree
right
with that.
either.
No, and that's the words I kind of put again. I don't want to sign them up for
Right.
too much or some sort of overkill, but it would be nice if there was some way to kind of address that sort of
I
thing.
think addressing it now
Yes.
meets that, does that, right? We address it now, the language is clear and cut, yeah, we're gonna work with 18, we're gonna work, 25 is good as is. And if we address that now, then we don't have to deal with that later, because I agree with you, it could be open-ended and it could cause some
Yeah.
problems. later.
Well, by way of context, we're talking about condition D9. And it's the highlighted section in the decision. And the actual language that was proposed, unless it appears elsewhere, but I believe this is what we're talking about. The applicant shall consult with the abutters along the northern property line concerning the nature and type of screening and shall reasonably accommodate and incorporate any specific requests for screening made by said abutters. I think that has to come out, actually, because the very purpose of this hearing is to hear abutters' concerns and to take them into consideration. If we post-permit now have to go back to them, they are acting as an ultra-virus local board, and they're not. And as Mr. McCusker indicated, they could change their mind. Who is the arbiter of whether or not we've reasonably incorporated these requests, particularly if these requests come after the final plans get submitted and approved by this board? It just creates the potential for chaos.
Well, I think it's all tied to the final landscape plan.
Sure.
And the intent was to have some requirement, but also to give you some flexibility and the abutters some flexibility in what that entails.
Right,
But it's a prerequisite to issuing the building permit. That's what the qualifying language is in this condition.
No, I
Prior to the
agree.
issuance of the building permit.
And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it should be open-ended or that, we don't want you held ransom, for something that's, not reasonable. But I'm not sure if the best way to craft that so that it kind of meets those purposes.
But I think, though, if you take out that sentence and keep the rest of it, it's fine.
Yeah, we're okay
There
with
are
it.
safeguards.
Right.
And, the fact of the matter is just taking it into a more global context, this board is going to approve those final plans. So right now, you have the preliminary plans in front of you. You're going to approve, or review rather, the final plans to make sure they're consistent with not only this decision, but those preliminary plans. And there is going to be further opportunity to flesh a lot of that out, and that certainly would come prior to the issuance of the building permit to basically, again, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but to open it up to having almost a neighborhood association determine the appropriate screening when we've gone through processes that this board deliberately set up. seems to me a little
I
difficult.
think he's exaggerating. I don't think that's what the sentence says.
No, it doesn't. I agree, Dan, and what I was gonna say is.
It doesn't say that?
No, all it's saying is that you'll get input. We're ultimately gonna decide whether the plan is approved or not.
It doesn't say we're simply going to get input. It says we're going to incorporate the specific requests regarding screening.
Sure, yeah.
Reasonable.
Which you've already
Reasonable.
said, either a fence or arborvitae, depending on what the abutter asked for. So
Right, but why do we need it in the decision if we're already going to be building it in, if it's already built into a process that this board has
What
established?
process is it built into?
This hearing.
Okay, but somebody doesn't show up, somebody doesn't necessarily know what's going on, somebody sells the house between now and then. We should
Okay.
be able to get that input while the plan, you're still developing the landscape plan. Why wouldn't you want input from everybody who could possibly give you input?
To the extent that we can, we've already reached out to people. Some people don't want to talk with us. Some people are very open to talking with
Why
us.
wouldn't you want as much input as possible?
I'm not saying we wouldn't.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
By
No,
taking
I'm not.
that out, you effectively.
No, I'm
are.
not. 100%, I am not refusing that input. I'm saying that I don't want to be in an arbitrary situation where we've knocked on a door, got the door slammed in our face, and now this board said we didn't do enough.
How could we say that?
Because you're basically, as a prerequisite to the issuance of a building permit, making us go to these people and incorporating requests into the final plan. And we can only do that to the extent that people actually give and take and engage with us.
It doesn't say you shall get requests from every abutter.
It says shall consult with.
Fine, you consulted with, you knocked on a door, they slammed in your face, end of consultation.
Okay?
We're not saying you're required to get requirements from everybody, just go talk to people. Leave the door open so that if something comes along, they can.
We've done that.
Well,
But I guess who's the arbiter of that?
I
we
think-
are,
I
just
think
like it
this-
says there.
I don't think you understand the process. So you've started the process. That's great. You knocked on the doors, you got some input. Then when you prepare your landscaping plan, you come to the board with the landscaping plan and you show the screening that you've proposed after consulting with the neighbors. And as part of that plan, maybe you can have a narrative that says, we knocked on this door, this door, this door, this door, this door. We talked to these people and this is what they said. And then you give it to the board and the board decides whether or not that's sufficient or not. And you can defend your decisions. You can say, you know, we think this is sufficient because this is what Joe Farmer said he wants, but that we can't do all of it, we can do some of it, and the board will decide whether it's sufficient or not.
Mr. Chair, I mean, can there be like official, not official, but documentation so we know who you've reached out to, we know who you talked to, and we know, something in writing so we know that everyone's been contacted, so we don't know really like who wouldn't talk to you, who didn't.
Sure.
And then maybe have it some sort of a, I don't know if a timeline works and say, okay, by this time, all the butters have a chance to respond back. If they haven't, whatever,
I think if they just give us a
to-
narrative, there's
Yeah.
only 5 or 6 properties. Just
Yeah.
give us
And
the
really,
narrative.
there's
Yeah.
only
They did.
three, there's only three, in my opinion, that
Yeah,
are
all right.
actually affected.
Okay, so,
And then by looking at the map here, it's, you have 18, and then Querga was 25, and then I think it's the one up by the 39 maybe.
So Colin, I'm gonna ask you to tell us again, we probably should have had this up when you were saying.
Sure. Yeah, so 18, so I can't see the,
It needs to go left.
where's 18?
That's the one on Snow Road, right?
yeah, on Snow Road.
Bottom left.
Right in between.
That's
So
18.
you need to move.
So, but it says, what, oh, is that?
It says 35 is the big number.
35A,
Okay, so 18.
But that's so that's 18, so that's Alex DeSimone, that, I met with him. He was the one that said, I'm not really sure if
Yeah.
a fence or an infill will work best for me, and we agreed we'd do either, on the approved landscape plan, and he was fine with that.
That makes sense,
Um,
okay.
There's no, so there, it's all trees. That whole lot, all the way almost to the house is trees.
So in theory, 35A there probably
Yeah.
doesn't need anything.
He doesn't need anything, and then 30,
36, which is
Yeah,
25.
that's
she
Querga.
said.
That's 25. So yeah, he's the one with the arborvitae's. He was good with that. We laid it out.
Okay.
We did some measurements. He's fine. 32, it starts at Querga's yard. So we have arborvitae's proposed like halfway up there, up 32, because the beginning of 32, it's probably about 10-foot wide thicket
So
trees.
you're saying 32, I think you mean 37, where the,
This is 37.
I'm sorry, 37,
Yep.
where it says 37. So it starts about 10-foot thick of trees, and it just gets bigger as it goes up the property line to where their yard actually is. And then when you get to 38, there's a lot of trees between our property line and their yard line. And then 39, there's some clearing. They wouldn't meet with me. I tried to
And that's
get
over
her
by the
contact.
basin.
Do you want the near map shot of it so you can see all the trees?
Now, when you say there's a lot of trees, you mean there's a lot of trees on their property?
Correct.
just out of curiosity, 39, is that a pool back there?
Yeah,
In a pool house or
that's
something?
Querga's.
So
No,
they
no, no,
never
he's talking about
think,
39.
No, that's Valentine.
so any of them with trees aren't thinking about taking any of the trees out of there, I take it? They're not
Doesn't look
concerned
like
of it? They're not concerned about it?
I don't know.
Judy is usually here, by the way. She's not here tonight.
Yeah, I asked her if she wanted to meet with me. She wouldn't. I asked her to exchange phone number. She said, thank you, I'll look at it myself.
I mean, you can't force somebody, so.
They're still open to meet with them.
Yeah, we're not trying to do anything, you know, we're willing to work with the abutters. We want to do what's right, but we also don't want to leave it open-ended for, you know,
Yeah, and we don't want that either. That's not good for anybody.
yeah.
Mr. Chair, just process question. When they come back in front of us with the final set of plans, is there any notice that gets issued at that point, or no?
There isn't.
Just our normal meeting
But
notification?
yeah, just regular 48 type notifications. You know, agenda, posted to
Yeah,
the agenda,
yeah.
that's what, open meeting law notification, I'm sorry.
I mean, the hearing would be closed by that point.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So are we comfortable with that process? We just wanted to make sure it wasn't like an open-ended, you know, and then it just, it can cause more
Yeah,
problems than
I
it
was gonna,
solves.
can
Go
you-
back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just for, so long as we're on this conversation, if you can kind of go around the corner to the properties on Snow itself. So go down, no, the other way.
Oh,
So what is that, like, where that number 70 is?
I think, didn't
that's,
he want, he wants us to cut the trees down.
What's that?
Yeah, we went through, we visited that a long time ago.
Okay.
He asked if we could remove the trees during land clearing, and we said, yeah, absolutely.
We're good at that.
That's good.
the yin and the yang.
That works for both parties. That's good.
Okay, all right, so you've talked, that's what I want to make sure.
North and south are different.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So what's the pleasure of the board?
Hang on a second.
Sure.
I can't hear you, your microphone.
Mine or his?
No, you're talking to me, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
All right.
So the other problem is if, like, Brian, if you have the mic over your voice bounces off your screen, yeah. So you kind of have to, yeah.
Yeah, because that would be shocking to me if someone told me they couldn't hear me. It's usually not a problem.
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. So I was simply asking what's the board's pleasure, because I can suggest reviewing certain things I think we've already kind of gone over, but are seemingly unresolved. I had the opportunity today to talk with the project team to go over specific conditions. I'm not sure that we even completed the condition review, and I know that there were findings that were drafted, and I returned comments to those today.
So I guess I was thinking the conditions, we should, I'd like to try and get the conditions as finalized as possible, so.
Tonight, yep.
Well, and the red lines, so you submitted a bunch of red lines, I don't think we've gone through those.
Right, I can't remember where we ended up in the process from last month.
We got through the waivers, so I think the waivers are done, but we haven't actually gone through the condition, the red lines and the conditions. So that, I think, is the.
We haven't gone through any of them? I
No.
thought we started.
We
Oh,
went through
really?
them,
Yeah.
we discussed them
Wishful
a couple
thinking.
months ago, but then you gave us red lines. We haven't gone through
Right.
the red lines.
Got it.
And I also added some additional language last month based upon input from Leah, the conservation agent. So I'm a little bit concerned, I mean, I guess if we're continuing the hearing anyway, it's not a big deal, but I would be a little bit concerned about continuing just because they're telling you that Leah doesn't like some of the language that she gave us. Like, that seems strange, but but if we're continuing the hearing anyway, then I suppose no harm, no foul.
Well, I mean, to give that context, and John, you can speak to this a little bit more to the extent I am not representing it clearly enough. The proposed conservation language came from the conservation agent without any interaction with us. John and our resource area expert met with her. They came to some kind of understanding based on that conversation. So there was context given. She understood where we were coming from and is willing to modify the condition that she proposed. I think that's that simple.
Yeah.
So, and
Yes,
I'm assuming that and you were looking for, I think, a writing at the last hearing from the conservation agent above and beyond just the condition. I thought you were looking for some kind of email. I can't remember.
I had a couple follow-up questions for her, but I think
Okay.
I got those answered.
Okay.
Yeah, which was the salt.
Yeah, the salt, what their typical language is
Oh, and
for.
then this was, which I did email that out. That was the other one that she sent. That I sent to everybody
The
on the
vernal pool issue?
21st. Huh?
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
Yeah, so those
that
language.
was
on vernal
pre
pools-
yesterday's meeting with
Yeah.
the project team and her. Okay.
With the salt, is there any roadways or pavement within 100 feet of that back road that the fire department wants?
No, that's not even within a.
That's not covered by her email?
The only part of the project that's within 100 feet to any resource area is just some off-grading to the detention basin in the northeast corner.
So this salt thing she gave us is it's not applicable at all then?
The issue, Peter, is more for the well.
No, I realize that, but she's
not the-
saying within 100 feet, and if there's nothing within 100 feet,
Maybe I didn't read that email as closely, but I had a separate conversation with her about what their typical conditions are for limiting road salt in protective areas. And so that's the language I put in D10.
I guess what my
But-
point is, are they gonna be able to salt that fire department road behind building, 1 and 2?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. I'm just recommending that you go with road treatments that are not potentially harmful to the well. So there's alternatives.
I don't think there is a treatment that's not harmful.
Well, they have protocols. There's there's calcium, magnesium acetate. There's other, I don't know what they are.
I've spread them all.
Okay.
Salt is the less corrosive in my opinion. But
So it's a balancing, right? I mean, you put salt down, but then that gets into the wellhead.
I apologize. I'm sorry to interrupt. Through the chair to Katrina. Katrina, was this addressed in the emails you sent us on the 21st? I apologize.
Yes, that was.
Do you have a
one-
copy of those emails? For some reason, I missed them.
Yeah, I can give you my copies.
Is that okay?
can print others.
I mean, this
Yeah, you
might,
got mine.
my question might mean nothing, that's what I'm wondering.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, if conservation's saying you can't salt that back road, that's not good. Because then that means if there happen to be a fire in the fire department and it's all ice, that's not a good thing. I don't know what we do then.
Well, they'd have to treat it, just, we're saying they can't use sodium chloride.
Yeah, the,
I mean,
Yes.
liquid salt is liquid sodium chloride.
yeah, Leah said their standard condition is that sodium-based de-icing products shouldn't be used on driveways within 100 feet of a wetland buffer zone or 200 feet from a riverfront. So this condition is ongoing, does not expire with issuance. So,
That's okay.
which is, we're fine with that.
But that's not, that's not the language, the issue is not the wetland, the issue is the well. So I asked her, what language do you have for limiting sodium chloride in general? And she gave me this language, she just copied and pasted something. But the point is that sodium chloride, I don't think is good for drinking water. So that's the issue. If there's alternative road treatments that can be adequate, that's not salt and that doesn't harm the well quality, then that should be the condition.
I don't know what the answer is, and I've spread them all.
What does Stop and Shop use? They're right on the other side.
Salt. I would assume salt.
Aren't they down gradient from the well?
No, they're about the wetland.
And I would assume, I'm just assuming, everybody uses pure salt now. Very few places use sand anymore,
Yeah.
because they don't want to sweep.
The Stop and Shop parking lot is at the same elevation as
Do you
the
have it
well?
on the plan?
Basically, within I mean, their parking lot is out of the 400-foot radius.
Right, and so is the project.
Right.
But I think that the concern was that let's not add more salt, if we can help it.
Mr. Chair, I think the condition that's currently drafted references alternative projects as approved by the Grafton Health Director, not Conservation. So did we get any feedback from, I know we got feedback on the dumpster from the Health Director. Did we get any feedback on the use of ice treatments from the Health
I
Director?
did not realize I needed to ask her that. I can send Annette an email tomorrow for that.
For TSS removal.
And I wonder, should we reach out to the Water District as well?
No.
No,
I've reached out to them so many times and I just,
But if you're with specific questions as
I
opposed to
have.
just generically.
I have.
Yeah, that's the root of the problem here. Dan's taking conservation language and trying to apply it to the wellhead. And all of that should be coming from the water district. And apparently they don't care about their water quality. It's not funny,
No,
especially in this
I-
town where
it-
people can't drink the water.
it's a sarcastic response.
Because I did specifically ask certain questions.
I agree with
and
you,
they-
it's not
And
funny.
they basically came back with their standard answer. So I don't know what else I can do.
But it leads us right into where we are now, where Dan's trying to do the right thing using conservation language, trying to apply it to the wellhead. You know what? We shouldn't be in that business. The water districts should be the one who's trying to protect their well, but apparently they don't care.
they might not be able to put anything, any standards above the 400-foot buffer zone. I'm not speaking for them.
We
but-
can though,
Yeah. and we're
We
asking
can,
for
But they're
that
not
feedback.
suggesting it, so what,
right.
where do we stand? We're just
Exactly.
guessing at that.
They could and they should be suggesting more. I find it hard to believe that there's not more that can be done, you know, but.
Is this something that your peer reviewer and John can get together on, and we can not get caught up in this tonight? We clearly don't have the technical background to resolve
Yeah,
this.
so I don't even know which condition we're talking about.
It's D10.
Okay, but like, can we maybe just start at D1 and deal with the red lines and accept them or not and just kind of work through these things?
Sure.
If we get to D10 and the right thing to do is skip over D10, we skip over D10.
Right.
But, you know, right now I feel like we're hopping all over the place. and
Well, that's
I'd rather-
right. That's exactly.
I'd rather just start at the top and understand what these changes are.
Brian,
and-
thank you for this.
Are you good?
You want me to put it on?
Let me see if I can. Are you plugged in anyway? Did you plug in? You are, ATA. Oh, there we go.
So, I've got a document that starts at D.
Yeah, the decision's split into two parts.
Yeah.
So it's A through C, and then D to N.
Okay, so
You want to start at A?
So
I have a document, 52226, red line sections D to N.
But I
So-
sent an email last night that had both. You should have two documents, A through C and then D through N.
Yeah, but is the one 52226, red line sections D, that's the one?
Do you have
Okay.
this? This is the other one he's talking about.
Hold on, I
Yeah.
gotta see if Dan,
So if we could start with D1 now, Dan, whose are most of these changes? Are they the applicants, these red lines?
It's both. Let me pull it
That
up.
doesn't help. I want
Well,
whoever has most of them to drive, so to speak.
Again, to give it context,
okay.
I did a set of red lines. Dan and I spent about 2.5, 3 hours
All right.
one day on the phone going through them.
Do it 'cause it cuts off Zoom.
And that prompted him to go into my red line
I know.
and provide comments. There were some red lines that I provided that that were fairly innocuous, that were more clarification, that type of thing, or he didn't have a problem with them.
So
And
let's just
yeah.
start with
Yeah,
D1. If you
so
can
it's
get
a
it on the
combination.
screen, can somebody get it on the screen?
Yeah. Do you want me to? pull
Where's
it up?
the Zoom link? Is it,
Yeah, you should have gotten it in an email.
you want me to find the email?
I
Is
can
it-
find your email. Go
No,
into your,
is it on the webpage?
it should be. Go
Under
under,
agendas?
it should be under either,
have,
under
A
the
through
agenda or
C?
go to the, actually, go up here. Go back up top.
It's okay.
I don't know.
Boards and
I have
committees.
them.
Affordable Housing Trust.
We're on
It's just, trust me. Affordable Housing Developments. Scroll all the way down.
No wonder I can't find anything on our website.
Snow Road.
We need IT.
Trust me, I am not computer literate. This is the only thing I know. Go all the way down. Right. Keep going. It's gonna be the last one on there. Go there. Then I have to give you access. Okay, you're a panelist. You should be able to share now.
It says it's not turned on. I'll send a request.
Oh, allow. Sorry.
Oh, making progress.
Why is it taking so long? It's on my screen.
I don't know. It's showing that screen and not.
Let's try this again. Where is it? There it is.
There we go.
Here we go.
Okay, so you want to just go down
Yeah,
point by point? Okay.
Starting with D, or you want to start from the beginning at A?
I want to start with D,
Okay.
conditions.
All right, so. Yeah, Jason, you added this. So if Jason added language that I thought was okay, I just left it in. If he added language that I thought was not okay, I made a comment about it.
Okay,
So
But in D1, he struck some language.
Um,
I think I struck that.
yeah, that's not my strikeout.
Yeah, so that's just
And
my change.
I'm glad that we're starting with this one because we'd like to talk about it.
Okay.
So if you read D1 and D2, if you have D2, why do you need D1? I guess. I mean, we went through it together earlier today, and that was the question we asked. Because D1 seems to have an intention that's addressed by D2.
And to put some context on that is, and I think we talked about this last month, was if for the creation of our water quality swale in some sections, the midsection going back, we need to grade up to the property line, and that's where we show our limit of work and our erosion control. And with this suggested condition, it says, obviously, we can't do anything within the drip line of any tree that is located off-site within 10 feet of the perimeter of the site. So if this is the property line, the abutter's tree is here, the drip line extends 15, 20 feet within our project, and that's an area where we need to, do some grading to create a swale, that would be a problem. But D2, I believe, would be able to rectify that.
Yeah, and it seems to me that the purpose of D1 is not to kill any abutter trees, that the abutter doesn't, unlike the fellow who lives on the south bound of the property, the abutter doesn't want killed. Obviously, if we're doing grading and it interferes with the root system, that seems to be the situation contemplated in D1, which seems to be addressed in D2, that in the event that happens, there is a process by which we're replacing trees. But we have a limit of work depicted on the site plans, and it seems to me that limit of work could substantially change as a result of D1.
It also mentions the tree warden. Will he go on private property? I understand if it's a tree within the town right away on the street frontage, but
As far as I know, no one,
I've
unless
never-
he's requested.
I've never heard of that. But I'm not saying it isn't, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
I can't imagine a tree, I can imagine the building inspector going in the site, but not, I can't imagine the tree warden.
I have no idea. I agree with what the applicant's saying, that it does seem like D1, that D2 addresses D1 if something happens to one of the trees. I mean, how much are we talking, are we talking about?
Talking about a pretty thick tree line on the northern boundary.
Wow.
Well, the area
Right.
the areas, as it would, the area that's closest that we're looking to grade for that swale
Right.
is backs up to Corriga, which he, from talking to Cohen, is fine with what we're proposing. And then it starts blending away over behind his next door neighbor, which is Cadigan, which that has some, on their side, some additional tree buffer, but again, we're gonna extend some evergreens along that line. And then as you head to the back along the, which was Valentine and Danielson, where the basin is, we need for some grading around that side of the basin, some work that's a little closer to the property line. So that's where the grading needs to be, and again, we're gonna look at saving trees where we can. If there are individual trees we can save, and then obviously doing the infill, and then coming back with the landscape plan, and then if anything were to be affected because the roots were disturbed.
Offsite.
Off-site, that's where D2 kicks in.
Right.
So D1 and D2 are not duplicative. So D1 is basically saying, look, when you dig right up against the property line, you might be hitting some roots of abutters trees. Those abutters trees may not die immediately. They probably won't, right? But it may cause long-term damage. So D2 really only deals with, gee, I took a tree down by mistake. That's within the limit of work. That's obvious. But D1 is more like the long-term effects and just preventing root destruction to abutters trees. So there's a balance. I understand that that's problematic for their plan because maybe they have grading proposed within the drip line of some abutter trees.
But
I think we've had this condition before in other projects. I'm pretty sure I took it from either Upton Street or Pleasant Street, but.
I was about to say, where did that condition come from?
All these conditions, I didn't just create these. These are conditions that we've worked on in the past on other projects. I mean, some of them obviously are unique and tailored to the project, but this is not.
You know, we're at the point, we've got this plan that we seem to have coalesced on. And it requires, work, within essentially this limit that we're creating. So it doesn't seem like we should have this condition, certainly not as written. If we can do some sort of a carve out for where we know we're closer to where the limit of work is going to be within this 10-foot perimeter.
Is there a reason to reference anything other than the limit of work? So remove the references to the drip line, the 10-foot perimeter, and just, no site grading or excavation shall occur outside of the limit of work or something along those lines.
If I may, I think that the crossout, the language that I originally proposed that got stricken, I think pretty much Brian addresses that.
Yeah, basically.
If you don't like my language, I have no pride in authorship. You could, but you see the intent here. What I'm trying to get at. So, yeah, we will observe the drip lines to the extent that they're either not waived. There's a condition that isn't waived in your bylaws, or unless otherwise shown on the site plans, and we show a limit of work on the site plans. To Brian's.
I don't think the cross out accomplishes what you're saying. I mean, basically the condition, that first sentence is saying that tree that's within 10 feet of the property line, its drip line becomes the limit of work.
Right. Correct.
I don't think that's what you want.
We don't want that because the site plan shows differently. Shows a limit of work that's.
Right,
So that's why there's the or as otherwise shown on the site plans and except as expressly waived.
I think Brian's language is better. And
Yeah,
I think if
that's fine.
what the board wants, I would take out what I wrote and word it such that there would be no excavation within the limit of work as shown in the plan.
I would think that's already somewhere in here as a condition, but if not, yeah.
And we're fine with that.
So the board's okay with that?
I think we are. I think we have to be. I mean, the alternative is basically forcing probably some significant change to what we've got.
And the purpose of that swale was so that we could
John.
provide, I'm sorry. The purpose of that swale was so we could provide increased water quality and treatment. So that was what was driving that.
So this last sentence can come out, right? It doesn't really serve any purpose.
Yeah, I agree.
So is the
last
condition
sentence
now?
gone?
I'm sorry.
Last sentence is gone, Peter.
So is the condition now no site grading or excavation shall occur outside the boundary depicted as a limit of work on the approved plans?
I'm making the change in real time on the screen.
Oh, you are? Okay, it's hard for me to see. Okay.
Okay. So under number 2, this is an example of something that Jason had proposed, which I didn't necessarily agree with, and I flagged it for the board to look at. So My language was that if they destroyed a tree with, that's outside the limit of work area, actually, we use the word outside, not inside. That there would be a replacement of, at a ratio of 2 new trees for each destroyed tree. What's that noise?
It's the clock. It's been doing that all week. It's trying to reset itself.
Can we take it down and take the
Can't.
battery out?
Someone tapping
It's
a,
hardwired.
Really?
It's one of the original ones from the school.
oh my God.
Just start? Oh, wow.
I will have that taken care of Monday.
Okay.
So anyway, so my suggested language was if they destroy a tree by accident or deliberately, they have to replace it with 2 new trees that would be installed under the supervision of the tree warden. So,
I think we probably need to take the tree warden out, just, qualified landscape professional, something like that probably is sufficient, but, so, in the applicant has struck the idea of 2 trees?
well, do you want to see the board's peer reviewer? I mean, it should be someone on our side, right?
Sure. Yep.
And do you want to use my language, or do you want to take that out?
Well, I'm struggling with who's,
So I had put in that the replacement tree be 9 feet of height at a ratio of 2 new trees for each one destroyed.
and the applicant is saying, objecting to the ratio of 2 new trees.
Right.
I mean, why wouldn't we do 1 for 1?
Because you weren't supposed to take one down in the first place.
But if it's an accident, I mean, why are we being punitive? We're not a conservation commission where we're doing something compensatory. We're replacing what we.
We are the Conservation Commission though, aren't we?
Well, you are
Yeah.
acting as the local conservation, under the local bylaw. Yes, you are. However, it seems punitive.
This is pretty standard language for
Yeah.
these types of conditions. I've seen this for 20 years.
Yeah.
And it is part of the point to account for the fact that you're theoretically replacing a far more mature tree than
Right.
we're replanting, so that's
Right.
where the 2 for 1 comes in.
Yep, absolutely. I'm fine. I leave the 2.
I do like, I don't know if it was Attorney Hills or the applicants, but I do like defining what we're talking about with the diameter of at least 2.5 inch. And I think we say of, it should probably be at least 2.5.
But with a diameter of at least 2.5 inches.
And the parenthetical needs to stay, obviously, because of,
Or no, 2.5 inches or greater, right? Is it the same thing? Is that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, moving along.
D4, we just added a caveat that just clarifies the point of this, that there is some construction, there is some stormwater management facilities within 100 feet of the wetland.
Oh, okay. I noticed we're capitalizing construction activities, so that's defined somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay. Take your word for it.
So D6, this is the vernal pool investigation condition. Is this something, I guess, that, do you want to table this? Is that what-
yes.
Yeah.
Actually, D6,
Because the agent had some suggested language that she gave to me on May 13th. But you're saying that she has some different language.
correct,
Okay.
as of yesterday. Well, I think she's open to, I think she's going to be communicating with you guys directly.
Okay.
So this is exactly what we suggested be tabled.
Okay, so D6 we'll skip over. And then D9, we talked about a little bit,
Yeah, so this was my language, and I just highlighted it because I knew it was a big issue. I don't think we have to I think you guys are okay with this concept?
Yeah. Other than the sentence you were talking about, that you were concerned about, is the rest of this language okay? Mm-hmm. All right, let's, moving along.
Okay, D9 came out because it's addressed somewhere else. D10 is the road salt language.
So we're
So
tabling that?
We'll table that and try to get some input from the health director.
Okay,
Can you do that?
so we're up to D11.
We're fine with that.
Okay,
I put a note here, do you want the applicant to post any signage?
Oh, yeah, big caps.
I think we did maybe discuss this at the last meeting, but I don't think we had a consensus.
Yeah, why not?
yeah, actually we should.
John, do you have any input on where signage might go?
You know, probably where, in areas where there could be not just a vehicle pulling back off of the parked, you know, in case somebody decides, who knows, they're gonna go pull and dump something or whatever, at least.
They better not.
But no, I'm not suggesting anybody would. But in terms of fail-safes, I would say, and then,
Probably the type of thing you're gonna figure out when there's actually shovels in the ground and buildings start, I think it's gonna
yeah,
start to become obvious where
Sure.
signs should go.
okay.
All right, D12, I think, Brian, you had a comment on this?
Just to change Board of Selectmen to Select Board.
Okay. But did you want to put the dollar amount in here, or?
No, so I think, so I had emailed, Attorney Hill about, the Upton and Pleasant Street, projects had a separate section in the conditions pertaining to off-site, improvements that would have addressed what we currently have as I think C1, but then they also tacked on some language around the, monetary contribution, the donation that the developer's making to the town. So I think we can leave D12 as is, and then we can decide whether or not we want to move C1 into a separate section with any other language once we get to C1.
All right, so D13, I think this is just mostly wordsmithing, but we had some discussion about storage of chemicals in the garage building, so we just reworded that. I think we dealt with this two months ago,
Yes.
so there's nothing really new there.
Yep.
D14, we also addressed this issue. I had some language in here originally that that doesn't seem to be applicable, so that's stricken. So I think this language has already been discussed.
Oh, yes, this had to do with the trash compactor. and-
Yeah,
Yeah.
the pad. that's
Yes, the
gonna be on
pad,
this.
right, right.
But the way this is worded is basically the DPW director would review the design of this trash compactor area to make sure he has any concerns about any runoff or those kind of issues. Because it is really close to the zone one.
Yep,
I thought it was the health inspector.
yeah, I'm kinda wondering, I was wondering why it's a DPW director, I don't know who it should be.
Didn't the health inspector give us feedback on the,
She did, because you wanted questions on it. She said, thank you for passing this along, because I gave her the link so she could look at all the paperwork and everything you guys submitted. With the information on the trash compactor and dual recycling containers and their solid waste capacity is likely to be sufficient for the estimated capacity and pickup frequency indicated in the attachments. No further questions or concerns from the health department at this time.
I thought she had comments on the pad, though. Like
I don't
grooving
remember
on it or something?
Yeah, I don't remember that, but we had a meeting here with staff.
Did we strike that out?
I don't know, was that last year? with Paul.
Yeah.
Paul was here, and we talked about the pad at that time.
I know.
He had some ideas and
But
thoughts. I
this-
think
this
he was
only
expressing
talks
more
to the
concerns, and I
design
think
of
he'd
the
be the right guy
collection area.
Okay,
to review the design.
Do we care?
I think it's fine.
It does say or its designee, so, you know, if by the time this is built, Paul's retired and DPW director doesn't want to do it, we could get Graves to review it, or, you know, we can have somebody else do it. I guess I'm okay with that.
So are we restoring the crossout?
No.
No.
Unless we say DPW director or health inspector.
I mean, I originally had the health director in there, so if you want to add that back in, we can, but,
Sure,
so
yeah.
both,
Or health, one of those.
or,
And/or,
Yeah.
or what do you want him to?
Actually, you know, so DPW director says no, so then they run to the health director, she says yes, so they're good to go, I mean. Maybe we should just leave it, DPW director or its designee.
That's fine.
Or it says designee?
Yeah, designate, leaves it open,
Emphasis on designee.
yeah.
All right, we're fine with it.
D15 has to do with the, delivery parking areas that we talked about, I think, at the last meeting.
Yes.
They're gonna be increased in size to 10 by 24.
And that's an item that's going to show up on the final plan.
Yeah. Okay, E,
We have no problem
I
with
added-
any of that.
yeah, I added no short-term occupancies. So on the prohibitions, I had written no on-site parking or storage of boats or commercial vehicles. The applicant added the word outdoor parking and storage of these vehicles. So I guess they want to reserve the right to be able to let people park things in their garages.
Can we go back to E1 for a minute as far as, is short-term rental, is that defined?
Is it defined in the decision, or is it defined in your bylaw? Do you guys even have an Airbnb bylaw?
Not at the moment.
No.
I don't believe so.
So,
I think the
Actually-
next sentence actually addresses it, Bill, where it says that you can't have leases for less than 6 months.
Oh,
So-
Right.
yes, okay, good point. All right, then, perfect.
and when Dan and I were working out that language, I took it
Yep.
directly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I think addresses it for me.
Is this intended to address any lessor arrangements, or are those prohibited anywhere else?
Prohibit subsequent subletting. So, yes,
Of less than 6 months.
correct,
You can sublet if you're moving or you're
correct.
changing your lease.
Assuming the rest of the
Yeah,
lease,
right,
whatever.
But it's less than 6 months. So your
Yeah.
question, Brian, is that,
Yeah.
can you sublet for more than 6 months? I don't think there's any prohibition to that.
I think we'd be fine with that if, the applicant was, but.
All right, so going back to E7, does the board care if the tenants or the developer stores or parks commercial vehicles, boats, et cetera, in the garages? I mean, we don't have a prohibition against storage of other things in the garages. We talked about that. So do you care?
I
I
don't.
mean, I don't,
If they parked them in the garages?
as long as it fits in the garage and.
I mean, we basically already discussed, we already took it out, that, originally we said you can only put cars in the garages, and we took that out, so they can do whatever they want in the garages, basically.
Yeah, I don't care.
Data center, right? Or was-
Yeah.
Call center?
Yeah. The call center. Do those even exist anymore in AI world? 1-800,
A mini casino.
1-900? E, by the way, I have a note, review is fine.
Well, wait a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry?
So B actually is saying that outdoor parking of storage boats, commercial scale vehicles is prohibited. We're doing that too?
The outdoor parking,
Yeah.
Yeah, that has.
I almost feel like that should be, so if somebody lives there and they've got a plumbing truck,
They don't allow it.
Right. They don't allow that.
they don't allow it anyways?
No.
Okay.
You probably can't even put them in condos, I wouldn't doubt.
Well, I know some condos
Yeah.
don't allow it. Kind of wondering, we're building workforce housing here.
Well, these parking spaces aren't big enough for commercial vehicles. They're
They'd
not-
have to have a garage space.
They're 9 by
correct?
18, right? Or
I mean, what's the position of your zoning enforcement officer? Is he going around tagging people for?
And this is just commercial scale vehicles. This isn't
Right.
someone's pickup truck that has a commercial plate.
Commercial scale vehicles such as box trucks.
Exactly, box
Right.
trucks and things like that. Flatbed trucks.
So the
It's-
pickup truck that says Joe's Carpentry on it, that's okay.
Right.
You guys may not allow it.
No, that's okay. Pickup truck is okay.
Okay.
And somebody's a work truck, van, electrician or something, there's nothing wrong with that. That's-
Okay, all right.
I was just making a living.
Yeah, okay. All right, no, I get it. It's commercial scale.
Maybe oversized vehicles? This is commercial scale.
No, yeah, it says commercial scale, sorry, that's fine, all right.
Okay, so then E9, this is the one that I think is a catch-all that I like to keep. So we've had this in other decisions. We've kind of joked around, is this enforceable or not? I don't know, but I'd rather just keep it in as a
Yeah.
placeholder in case we ever need to use it.
Agreed.
But you, I mean, this is one of those situations, you joke about it, I don't think it's a joking matter. You're giving yourself a right you don't have. You're gonna open up a hearing, and then you're gonna open up this decision and amend it. Can't do it. Can't do it.
It's not as black and white as you say.
You
There
have
is
to
the
open
board.
up a decision with notice. It is, there's a process for this, this isn't new.
It says reopen the public hearing. It doesn't say,
You're going to, and you basically have to set up a show cause hearing to determine some violation. I mean,
So aren't we just reserving the right to do that?
you're reserving the right to open the hearing and amend the decision.
Right.
Yep.
Why do you need that?
Well, if you do something that's not part of the
Yeah.
decision,
But what
How else
in,
do we address
why do you need it in the decision? There are legal remedies that would allow, through the zoning enforcement officer first, not starting with this board, it starts with the zoning enforcement officer. The zoning and it would have to come through some kind of zoning enforcement through 40A, some complaint. The zoning enforcement officer has 14 days to respond. If the zoning enforcement officer doesn't respond, then that person has to go to court and seek an action in mandamus to compel the zoning enforcement officer to do what he's supposed to do within 14 days, he. And then barring that, they have remedies before this board. You're judge, jury, and executioner at this point. It's
even a 40B, Dan, is it the same? Is it at a 40B, the zoning enforcement officer is the person they go to first?
Yeah, but
Okay.
again, this only comes up if you're breaching the conditions. So I don't
Correct.
understand why, what's your concern?
It doesn't start with this board, that's what my concern is. It starts with the zoning enforcement officer, and it's up to the zoning enforcement officer to determine the breach of the condition.
Not necessarily, though.
Absolutely.
What if
That's
it's,
the legal recourse, that's the way it works.
what if it's not a zoning enforcement issue? What if it's the off-site work at Snow Road? And
It's still the zoning enforcement officer.
Is this in Prentice?
I think so.
More
I know
than
we've
likely
had
it
this
is.
before. I don't know which ones.
And Prentice has been through hack. I say we leave it. I say we leave it.
Yeah, if you have an objection to the reopening of a hearing, if this actually were to happen, I don't think it's ever happened, but if this were to happen, if you have an objection at that time, you can raise the objection. You can challenge the action at that time.
Right.
So without the zoning enforcement officer, this board has, you're suggesting has the right to reopen this hearing
Well, that's what-
and call out an enforcement issue.
Yeah, I'm conceding that there's not a lot of case law in this.
There's a lot of case law on it. There's a process to it.
I-
That's the thing. It's tried and true, and you're
There's a-
reinventing the process.
There's a case that says the zoning board can't do it.
There's a process that's prescribed under statute. Okay? It's addressed specifically in 40A. Zoning enforcement.
All right, that's enough. You guys can hack this out, you know. This member wants it to stay. It's what our council's recommending. I mean, how do the rest of the board feel? Anybody?
I agree.
I agree.
All right, so it stays.
Yeah.
Moving along.
Okay, F3 deals with the parking design, parking spaces. This language is fine, it's just saying
Yep.
if the accessible spaces need to be bigger, they can be bigger. Or they have to be bigger.
Just quickly on F2, is the 404 intentionally bold?
No.
Is that number right?
I thought it was.
Yes,
That excludes the townhomes, yeah.
exactly.
Excluding the townhomes, yeah.
So there are 32 townhome spaces,
Shouldn't we call it out?
436 in total.
So that shouldn't be 436?
It's a minimum of.
Or I put in the parentheses excluding the townhomes.
I don't have.
I
You
don't
did?
see any parentheses.
No, I'm saying I could add it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, it probably should.
Actually, why don't I say to serve?
And if memory serves me correctly, the approved plans are the plans presented before the board, not the final plans, right? The final plans have to come back to you to make sure they are consistent not only with this decision, but the approved plans, right? So that defined term is the approved plans. Are we waiting still for the fire department to weigh in on this?
Well, and then the final plans are gonna have the increased depth for the delivery spaces, which is gonna alter the sidewalk, and obviously that's gonna alter the landscaping, some other things, so that was gonna be like the
Right.
final.
So should approved plans mean final plans?
Okay, we've capitalized approved plans, we've also capitalized site plans. Where are those defined?
They are, that's what I was clarifying. They are defined, and I believe that the approved plans are these plans
No.
here.
The approved
Right.
plans are the plan set that you submit to the board, and the board approves them. And so when they get approved, they're now the approved plans.
Right, but that's that's the set of plans that are approved in conjunction with this decision, and then there's a set of final plans. There's another process, as I recall, through this decision, where okay, we've gotten the decision, we've gotten the plans, now we're close to building permit set, and it comes back to you to confirm that this final plan
Right.
set is consistent with all of that.
And certainly that's what final approved plans, I'm sure, is the intention in F2 here. But it seems to
could
me
be.
that we probably need to have these things a little bit tighter definitions then.
But Bill, there is a definition, as I recall, for final plans.
Let me just pull up the definitions since you guys.
Sure.
Yeah,
It gets a little confusing. I was a little confused at the beginning myself.
well, I mean, I know what was intended here, but we probably should be going with whatever definitions say.
Right.
And those final plans will include the
And,
landscape.
and the site plans are a subset of the approved plans. So the approved plans include the design plans, architectural.
Right, approved plans,
So the approved plans are the ones that are approved after you submit a final set, after this permit's been issued. The board reviews them. This is all in A1.
Okay,
The board reviews them, and then thereafter, they're gonna be called development plans, capital A, capital B.
so the approved plans are not the ones that we're working on right now.
Correct.
Okay. And probably in that condition that we're looking at, what is it, F2, we probably should take the word final out of, it's just the approved plans.
oh, here we go. 810 you mean, right?
Oh, he was saying that, F.
No, I think it's
A1
A3.
defines
No.
the term approved plans.
A1,
Lists all your site plans.
right.
And we capitalized capitalized site, capitalized plans. That's now a defined term as well. So the site plans are your the current set of plans, March 2nd, 2026.
Right.
The latest iteration.
So the site plans are the ones that are getting approved as part of this right now. The approved plans
Correct.
get approved later.
Right.
Okay.
So going back to F,
So the final kind of throws another, as you said, Bill, kind of throws.
Yeah, we should just strike
twist-
final.
Throws another twist into it.
It's redundant. It's not needed.
Yeah.
I believe.
yep.
I thought there was a definition for final plans.
I guess it's not necessarily final.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thanks.
So we'll take out the word final.
All right.
Because then there's approved plans and the final approved plans, and it'd be the final approved plans.
It's going to be a long night.
Okay, I think I'm up to F8. Does anyone else have any comments before then?
Yeah, just in F3, we're talking about the 9x18 parking spots. Is there any place where these parking spots, you know how in some developments, there's sidewalks that we don't want cars parked on a sidewalk, so we measure from the inside of the sidewalk. Does that apply anywhere here? John, you know what I'm talking about? Basically, if you have a condo, and there's a sidewalk in front of it.
Yeah.
This driveway should be measured from inside the sidewalk to
When you
the
say
garage.
inside the sidewalk.
the house side of it.
Oh,
So
yeah,
that a
and
car
we
is
do-
not
and we-
parked over the sidewalk.
right.
Yes, and all that is, we have more than that, actually.
So
like
are
say-
there sidewalks in front of?
The townhouse.
In front of the townhouses, and we made sure that in front of on the back side of the sidewalk, I believe we had like 22 or 23 feet.
Okay,
23 feet
so I guess my question
on
is,
the back side of the sidewalk.
do we need any sort of language added in there, or are we good with what's here?
I would say we could just double check the site plan, make sure that's correct. And
Okay.
if it is, then
Yeah, all
we
right,
need to-
yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, that's fine.
We have a parking plan.
I think Jeff actually knows to do that.
Well, we have, actually, in front of the townhouses, we have 24 feet,
Okay.
and there are no sidewalks in front of the townhouses.
Oh, all right.
And then everything else is 9x18, and of course, we're gonna do the deliveries.
Okay.
But the place where it really would only impact, and I've seen this in townhouse developments, is you don't want, if there's a sidewalk in front of a townhouse, you don't want that to be the 18 feet, because then cars are blocking the
Right,
sidewalk.
no, that's exactly my
So we
point.
have, there is no sidewalk on that side, and we have 24 feet, just so
Okay,
nobody, if somebody has a big vehicle.
Sounds good.
Sticking out, okay.
Okay, F8, so this is something that I thought Mike Colleen was very adamant about, that we not use vinyl
He did.
combustible.
That was earlier on in the
Yeah.
comments.
So I thought that you guys agreed to use cementitious siding. I don't know why.
So
Vinyl's in here.
we're proposing a combination of vinyl, cementatious, stone. We have a bunch of things going on here, and to take the vinyl out is going to be problematic and is going to add
Substantial cost.
substantial costs to the project. So what we propose is that this combination of materials that we propose using be in conformity with current building and fire code allowances, which do not prohibit vinyl siding.
4A construction. These buildings are 4A construction, and it doesn't prohibit vinyl siding of 4A construction.
So if I recall correctly, isn't the vinyl only accents? It's certain.
Yeah, there's
portions.
portions of the buildings at the lower portions. We typically do cementous at the higher elevations, and then the lower elevations, a mix of vinyl throughout. And it's typical on these types of projects and everything we've done to date and everything we plan on doing going forward by design. It's 4A construction, rather.
Do we have on the elevation sheets? Do we know exactly where the vinyl is vis-a-vis the cementitious?
Yeah, yes. So basically all all the white is cement siding,
What are the windows?
vinyl.
Vinyl?
Yeah.
So the
You
plan
got a
doesn't-
fire, the vinyl, the windows fall out anyway. Then add, well, I mean, it's just a fact of life, and everybody uses vinyl windows, so.
Right.
So the plan doesn't actually label it, right?
When you get into other taller buildings and 5A and 6A construction, then there are limitations on vinyl use, but in 4A there isn't.
So
I don't think we should get into the building code myself.
Yeah, I don't either.
this came up because there's been some high-profile fires of multifamily buildings in
Fire out in
Massachusetts.
Amherst.
Wasn't Southborough? I thought there was another one.
There was
we
a
go.
big fire out in Amherst. It was a brand new apartment building that went up. And the building next
So-
to it caught on fire.
Oh, there's another one.
I mean, if it's truly just the brown, that's the vinyl. That's obviously a small.
No, so what you're look at the rear elevation is going to be much different. So that brown is actually, that is actually
go.
going to be composite siding, the brown.
Yeah, if you look at A202,
So what's the vertical?
The vertical cementous.
The vertical is cement?
Yeah.
And the brown is what?
Composite.
What's that?
There's different, I'm not exactly sure which one we'll use yet, but there's some that are PVC, there's some that are cementous. I don't know exactly what it'd be. There's different brands, but it's like a fake wood, a faux wood.
But you don't know what part of it is vinyl? That's what I'm trying to figure out. What's combustible?
So the
Well, it sounds
darker,
like it could be the brown.
the darker color.
where it says clapboard siding.
Correct. And the rear of the building will have more than the front of the building by design.
Do you know what?
I mean, if we're gonna table this,
Yeah.
if we're gonna continue the meeting, I think that's another question I think follow up to Mike. But it'd be better if you could clarify on the front and rear elevations, what the materials are.
On this,
I think they do, right?
Well, it does.
They do, yeah.
I mean, if you look at, for example, A202,
one says
if you look
PVC.
at A101,
I don't see A's on here. Is this the,
Gate 17, A202, building 3 through 5.
I don't see numbers.
Yeah, it shows it.
Yeah.
You
Dan,
have these
right here.
sheets?
Yeah.
Where does it say A202?
Down on the
bottom right.
lower
Bottom.
left-hand, right-hand side.
No, flip through.
Right above gate 17.
For whatever reason, it's that what Dan has doesn't, is it further back?
No, it's,
Yeah, for some reason, what
Right
Dan
here.
has doesn't have it. Is it a revised plan?
Do I not have the current?
I don't know.
October 20th, 2025?
No, March 17th.
What?
March 17th.
March 17th, 2026.
So here's my feeling on this. I understand that there's been some tragedies And I understand the fire chief wants to do everything. I think if he had his way, everything in the town would be non-combustible. But, you know, if the building codes need to change so that these buildings are less combustible, so we have fewer tragedies, then the building codes need to change. But I don't know that developing some affordable housing is the time and place to be trying to force these changes. Especially if the applicant is saying it's gonna make things cost prohibitive.
Well, what I was thinking is,
Believe
Have
me,
some
we would love to
percentage
build all of our buildings with all cement
no
and
more
siding. It's
than-
just not financially feasible.
no more
Well-
than X percent vinyl or something.
I mean, and look at, well, I don't know how you can even accommodate that. Number one, I understand these plans were peer reviewed, these architectural plans. Number two, this is a sprinklered building, weren't they? Didn't you have an architectural peer review?
Yes.
No.
Yes, you did.
Well, we did have.
Oh, yeah,
we did.
we paid a lot of
but
money for
I
it.
don't think he was
Oh,
commenting.
yeah,
on
he
it.
wasn't,
He wasn't
yeah,
commenting on that, though.
that was more of a,
But
Design.
he looked at it for code compliance. He didn't have an issue with
I don't
fire
think, I
code.
don't think we're saying it's not compliant with code. We're just saying that the fire chief has raised concerns based upon history of fires, of
Right,
big
the code
multi-family
governs
buildings.
what the building can, how the building can be architected.
But is he gonna suggest no vinyl windows too?
And it's a sprinklered building.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, you're right, the code governs it, but we could, you know, put tighter conditions, right? And that's what we're talking about, and
The sprinklers aren't operational right away, are they?
Oh, yeah.
is it a dry system or what?
Well, they're operational for
Yeah.
occupancy.
As soon as
Yeah.
as soon as the,
NFPA 241
No,
does
but-
not require the sprinklers to be operational during construction.
I know, but that's,
That's it.
Just-
That's
but- no, but he
actually
just said
fire,
the sprinklers.
Dan, that's fire code.
but he just said there's sprinklers in the building, but if the sprinklers aren't operational, that doesn't help the building.
They'll
That's
be,
my
op-
point.
when, he's talking about when people are living in it.
When it's an occupancy.
Okay, but there's been fires during construction. The high profile fires that we're talking about have occurred before occupancy has happened.
but I mean, that could happen when it's just been
It's a
framed.
wooden building, right?
It's a wooden building, I mean, as long as we're operating within the confines of the building and fire code.
The building could sit there for 6, 8 months without any siding on it. There's nothing that says it has to have siding on it until it's occupied.
Right.
We could put the siding on it a month before occupancy.
Don't you have to have siding before wiring anymore?
Nope.
No?
You got a weather-resistant barrier.
Like type.
Zip systems.
What, Tyvek?
Yeah.
So I guess the option is we just take the condition out. I don't think adding the language makes sense. The whole point of the condition was to require non-combustible siding material. So if the board feels that that's not appropriate, then we could just take the condition out.
Yeah, so this member, I'm not comfortable with adding in, the additional higher level of fire protection. I mean, I'd like to do and help the chief, et cetera, but, you know, I don't think that, you know, building affordable housing, which is one of the goals here, is the time and place to try and do this. So that's my feeling, but we're a
No, I-
five-member board, so.
I agree.
I agree too.
But was that based on his review of the materials as, like his review of this architectural plan?
I'd have to look and see. I don't think so. I think it was just the concern out of the fire that had happened out at Amherst when we had a meeting.
So it could be that his concern, he doesn't want everything vinyl, you know, but this amount of vinyl is not gonna,
But,
Yeah.
but.
Yeah.
Okay,
Be a
but
concern.
that being said, there's not, it doesn't, this is not clear to me that the materials are cementitious. I mean, does it say that?
It does on, yeah. It does.
Apparently not on yours, Dan, because yours doesn't say.
No, I got the new one.
Oh, okay.
It's composite clapboard,
Which one are you reading off of?
So
A102.
clapboard.
Clapboard's cementitious, right?
It could be
No.
wood, it could be
No.
vinyl.
What,
Could be wood or
And then
vinyl.
it's-
Wood or vinyl,
oh,
or
So-
composite wood.
Hold on.
Essentially, fire code, the whole building could be vinyl
He's
siding,
reading
but
off
that's
the
not
paper.
what we're doing.
Right. So unless you want to put a condition that does that, then otherwise they can do whatever they want as long as it complies with the code.
Well, that's what I was saying, just to match even just to match the current plans as proposed, if it said no more than 30% vinyl or something, that gives you buffer to make changes. You know, something along those lines where,
I still don't like that because things can change, cap rates change, markets change. We don't know, you know, we want to build this thing. There's been plenty of projects that have been permitted and not built. That's not what we want to do.
If you go a percentage, then do you count the windows?
Right.
No, I'm serious. They're the ones
Oh, you're-
that, to me, the windows are the problem.
That was
You're
my
100%
first thought,
right.
is what, you know, we start trying to, what counts as vinyl, what doesn't.
oh, I guess I see that point.
I think three members said strike it.
So take it out. All right,
Not sure why that F9 got highlighted. I don't see why that's problematic. It's okay with me.
yeah, I might have just highlighted some things that I thought the board should just look at, so.
Or just as a flag,
Yep.
because you had a little note to yourself, insert fire lane condition, so. John,
You're missing
do
a
you
word
agree?
there. Maybe shall be kept, clear.
Shall be kept, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And we have a note to that effect on the plans too, for the fire lane around the back.
We do.
all right, so G, this is just, programmatic language that Jason added, which is fine.
So still no interest in adding some 60% AMI and 50% AMI?
With the way Dan's going, I don't know if we can even afford it.
That'd be a trailer park.
So I think we're down to I.
Well, on G2, just the initial leasing of 70% of the affordable units, that's just the, Grafton only gets preference the first time?
That's
Or-
state law,
Huh?
That's
the-
state law.
That's the law?
That's
Just the first time, not forever?
the initial lease up, yeah.
Oh.
Subsidizing agency guidelines, they're all consistent. We'd give you more, we'd give you 100% if we could.
We can't do that? We can't force that?
It's a state-
No.
I mean, not that you care, but, I mean, are we building these?
No, we do care. I mean, we'd love to give the town of Grafton residents that fit within the definition of local preference. But the issue that I run into time and again is you put it out there for local preference, you go through the lottery, and there's no one who shows up for local preference. Not no one, I don't want to minimize. But if we could give 100% local preference on the affordables, we would. I mean, keep in mind, this is 80% AMI. This is not, this is kind of workforce housing. It's meant for your, you know, your entry-level teachers and nurses and police officers and firefighters. It's people
No, I-
making
I-
a salary and working, you
I
know?
realize that, but I don't want to be building stuff for the city of Worcester either.
Right.
But
And
this
I
is-
feel that's what we're doing.
But we can't, this language is standard, we can't change this, right?
Right.
So there's nothing we can do about it.
And Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, I think 70% and the initial lease up, that's the highest we can go.
Yeah.
That's-
No, I've
That's
tried in the
prescribed,
past to get
yeah.
more, and the state always pushes back. And then they threaten to sue the town for fair housing violations.
And actually, we are building for Worcester. I mean, the state will tell you that, right? Because it's, you know, it's a statewide problem, so, you know, that's why, you know, they want everyone to have access,
I mean, the good news
like
is.
it or not.
So we have to expand our town because of Worcester.
But the good news is the definition of local preference is pretty expansive. I
Yeah.
mean, you at least get that 70%. and-
But it's only the first time. It says initial
Right,
leasing.
right.
That's how it's been for all the projects.
I guess I'm stuck with it.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but I'm stuck with it. And it's not your fault.
I told you if we could do more, we would.
Yeah.
So I don't see any changes in H. In I don't think there's any changes. Yeah, that's it. J, nothing else.
We're done.
Yeah, we already talked about waivers from the last meeting. So now we go back to the findings and conditions A through C.
Mr. Chair, I did have some comments on the waivers as they've been updated, if we're interested. So I believe currently numbered 17 is the freestanding sign.
I'm sorry, where are we?
So I just had some comments on the
Yep.
the waivers.
Well, which one?
So currently numbered 17, the freestanding sign. So we reduced the waiver request from 100 square feet to 50, but they actually don't need a waiver for anything less than 75. So I don't think we need this waiver anymore at all. Because they've got,
You
Over.
you can have a 75-foot sign in that district by right?
so it's the lesser of, you get 1 square foot of sign for every 4 linear feet of frontage. They've got over 400 square feet or 400 feet of frontage. So the cap of 75 would apply, and if they're only seeking 50, I don't think we need the waiver.
One square foot of area for
What's the
each
frontage?
4, up to a max.
490 feet.
Allow a freestanding sign.
So theoretically, they'd have like 125, but they're capped at 75.
Just doesn't
Take a
sound
look at
right.
that.
Well, that's community business.
Okay, oh, that's community business?
Yeah.
Okay,
Because we're in a split zone. It goes diagonal through the site between the community business and.
so does that go to the whole site if it goes diagonal through the site?
I think
or
where the
just
sign
part
is,
of
it's
it?
in that
Yeah.
corner.
Correct.
But you
Yeah.
get to count the entire frontage. Shouldn't you only be counting the frontage in the community district?
Okay.
I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah,
I don't know that it specifically says that, but in
Well-
zoning, but.
I have the zoning bylaw.
So this is, I mean, I would say between 2/3 and 3/4.
There's a whole bunch of case law with split zones and what rules apply.
Yeah.
Or we could just leave it so it's pretty
Right.
clear that they get a 50 square foot sign.
Yeah,
Let's just do that.
That's the
Let's just,
quickest way of dealing with this.
Right.
You granted it.
yeah, let's leave it.
And then currently numbered 28, we don't have a decision in the third column or the last column.
Water supply protection overlay district?
Yep.
Use regulations general?
what page are we on?
36.
36?
Well,
36 of the waivers. is in the back.
32? You got tonight's, right? Okay.
It seems to me that we pretty much have to grant this waiver or we've just wasted the last 2 years of our lives.
Yeah, I think that,
Please say it isn't so.
Right, I mean, we really have no choice but
Yeah, I
to.
know.
that was the intent.
Yeah.
I think we missed it.
Okay, so this is granted.
oh yeah, we have a blank, don't we?
Wait a minute. All right, sorry, I was looking at the wrong one.
I thought so, you know, I'm looking at it, but I said, you're a lawyer, you should know what you're doing.
No, it was the old 28.
You
Oh.
mean there are 3 of us in this room?
So what page are we on?
36.
Any others, Brian?
That's it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so where were we headed?
Now we're gonna go to A.
All right, so, all right.
So, before we get off the waivers, I assume that we're going to have one last total overview, 30,000 foot overview of all of this, that if there are little nits and gnats that we catch, we can revisit them at that next continued hearing, just to be clear.
Yes.
Okay.
It'll actually be very low level, not 30,000 foot.
Or, sure.
Where are the off-site improvements?
Offsite?
C1 right now.
C1?
So do you want to go through the findings, or
Got to do it at some point. So is that in one of the documents you sent?
that was last night?
Okay, got it. I think I got it.
On the screen, there's a dozen or so findings that discuss the background of the project.
So if you're going through what I gave you, it's probably in the little packet that's stapled on the very front.
Page 3.
And I haven't had a chance, Jason, to read your comments, but do you want to just jump in as we go through them?
Sure. Katrina, do you have them? The email I sent earlier today? Because we just saw these findings this morning, or this afternoon.
No, you sent comments to me today.
I did, yep.
Yeah.
Because we saw the findings today. We got them. So, I mean, I turned them around as quickly as.
Yeah, we got your
Yeah.
responses, but can you just jump in and tell us what your concerns are?
Yeah, so a lot of the findings that you drafted, you only drafted 5 findings.
5? There's 18.
Findings?
Starts here on page 3.
It goes to page 6.
Oh, I got it, yes, yep. So the nature of the findings that I added were also to address process. So for example, if you look at, I mean, it would be helpful if you had them in front of you rather than,
Do we have those, or were those only sent?
well,
to
I
Dan?
just sent them this afternoon.
Were they sent to us, or just,
They were sent to Dan and
okay.
I did
Katrina.
not print them before, because I couldn't tell what the changes were, so that was on me.
Oh, yeah, they were in red line.
Did you draft new findings?
I did.
Because normally we don't. It's up to the board how you want to treat that. We don't
And-
normally have the applicant draft findings. Usually I draft them and then they mark them up if they have any changes. But
And so, you know, my approach to findings, both as a former board member, as you are current board members, and as an attorney, proponent of development, is also to address process. And it sounds self-serving, however, you know, for the board to basically cover its butt, but to take notice that you have conducted your hearing in accordance with the open meeting law, that the application that was presented by the applicant is in conformity with 40B, supporting regulations and your own local rules and regulations, things like that. These are the types of things that are often the subject of appeal. And to take direct notice of it in your decision means that you have deliberated and found that you could basically, that you followed the process, that you did what you needed to do to take the votes you're going to be taking. And that's why I added them. So, for example, the first,
Okay, so is there somewhere we can put these up on a screen somewhere?
I can, yeah.
So you're saying these are additive to the ones that Dan's already drafted?
correct.
So I think it starts with 6, right?
Correct. So the first one, for example, the application conforms to and was submitted in compliance with 40B, 760 CMR 56, and the Grafton Zoning Board rules and regulations. The hearing was the next one, duly and properly noticed and called to order in accordance with the Act being 40B, the regulations being 760 CMR 56, and the Grafton rules and regulations. The hearing was properly conducted in conformity with the requirements of the open meeting law as adjusted by the COVID regulations that allow for these hybrid meetings. The applicant and the development are qualified pursuant to the EOHLC project eligibility letter. You know, all basic stuff that shows that you have deliberated and found to be the case to support this decision. And then number 10 basically is a synopsis of the final set of plans and what the project is. Number of bedrooms, number of parking spaces, that type of thing. Number 11, the development will be served by municipal water and sewer. That may be addressed somewhere else, so I'm more than happy to take that out if it is. The development presented in the application, number 12, as revised and amended, meets the local, and this is important, meets the local and regional housing need in the town of Grafton and is consistent with local needs as required by the Act. The waivers from the town of Grafton zoning bylaws and other applicable bylaws, rules, and regulations is number 13, pursuant to the list of requests.
Can we discuss these?
We're discussing them now. I'm just going
All right, so let's
through
go back to number 12.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure that's a finding.
The development presented as revised meets the local and regional need?
That has some significant, I mean, that means, that language means something with respect to 40B.
That's right. So why wouldn't it be a finding? I guess, and I'm not being a pain in the neck by asking, but I don't want to challenge.
I don't think that's the
That's
test.
so-
I don't think that's a standard, whether an application meets the local and regional housing need.
The development.
Right. I don't think that is, I don't think that's a correct statement of the legal standard in the Act. The housing need, as stated in the Act, goes to the balancing test between the need for housing and the local need, and the need to protect local concerns.
Correct.
So, if you wanted to say something to the effect that
I mean, we could,
the development as presented in the application properly balances the need for housing with the local concerns, like that's something that I think
that's fine.
board would be better. I think my overall comment of all of these is that I don't probably have a problem with them. I don't think they're necessary. And I tend to lean on less than more in decisions, but I don't think I have a problem with most of these. I think I might tweak the wording of some of them, but.
I don't like number 12, particularly the fact that we're saying in the end it's consistent with local needs as required by the Act. I'm not comfortable with that.
But I'm more than open to tweaking it in the manner Attorney Hill suggested.
Yeah, I question whether 12 is needed at all, but basically development presented is consistent with local needs as required by the Act. We're in safe harbor. We don't have local needs as required by the Act.
Well, you're still addressing a local concern, and that's the need. So
Not necessarily as required by the Act. Sure, we're addressing a local need, or if there wasn't a need for housing, you wouldn't be building it.
There's no local need. It's local concerns and housing need.
I understand.
First of all, the terminology is wrong. But again, I don't think this is necessary. I think this is, it's fine. I mean, a lot of it's probably okay. It's not harmful. I just don't think.
I'm worried that this could be harmful. I would rather not have this number 12 in here at all. But, yeah, I'll let you dwell on that and when you have time to review it further.
Sure.
But okay, so we can move on.
think 14 is covered in other sections of the decision up front, I think. Don't we talk about the fact that we had peer review? You're basically saying we had plans peer reviewed by our experts.
Yeah, I guess this, though, also addresses parties in interest, which would be your abutters, the people who are noticed.
Okay, I think,
You know, that you've taken that into consideration in forming the basis of your decision.
And actually, 13 gets into the whole consistent with local needs as defined by the act, so I'm concerned about that as well. So Dan, I think if we're gonna leave these, Dan, I'd like you to really take a good hard look at 12 and 13.
I had a comment looking through that 14 might somewhat address. I don't believe, unless I missed it, we call out anywhere, we talk about getting feedback from other boards and committees and other parties. I didn't see anything that called out the feedback we received from the public, and I definitely think we need to, whether it's 14 or somewhere else. Sure. I think that feedback has been extremely valuable. The board has heard it, and I think we need to acknowledge it.
And that's why that's there.
something to that effect, or more more elaborate?
To what you're saying, do we put in that all the feedback, and I don't remember one that was positive, so do we put in they were all negative? I mean, you're adding feedback, so you might as well say what kind of feedback
There was
it
positive feedback received. There was positive feedback received.
Hmm.
I think a member of the Affordable Housing Trust stood up and spoke in favor, maybe even two.
You're absolutely right.
Should just say feedback.
We had one.
I think it actually was two, Peter, but
Hmm?
I think it was two, but.
Yeah, one chewed me out.
Yep.
And,
I mean, do you,
But I wasn't gonna say.
Brian,
I
do
beat
you
you to the
find
punch.
the language proposed objectionable, or do you think it captures what you're talking about?
Yours are, so I don't have a preference for or against 14. I think including it here, and I'd probably bump it up a sentence so it's in front of their contributions are reflected in the conditions set forth in this decision. I think that would make it ring home that we considered the feedback and we included it. We talked about it earlier tonight just with the abutters, that we turn that into a condition. So I
Turn
think
it into a condition or a finding?
Well, so we're finding, actually, this isn't in the finding section.
Right.
It's kind of in the preamble, but we turn that feedback, just like we did for the town departments that we heard from, into some of the board's conditions in the decision.
I got it, taking recognition of that.
Yeah.
I see.
I
have no
I like that
objection to that.
approach.
So is there something beyond what I drafted that you want to do, or is this?
I'm good with that if the board is.
Can you make, that its own paragraph? So that there's a paragraph about the town boards and officials, and then the paragraph about neighbors and abutters. I'm fine with the language.
I'm sorry, how do you want to split it?
Basically, just make that its own paragraph from
Right here?
there.
Oops.
Yep.
The only slight concern there is, it almost seems like we incorporated the neighbors and abutters concerns into the decision and not necessarily
Maybe get rid of that strikeout in the.
say it twice.
Yeah, and I mean, the intent of what I added, consistent with what I think you're talking about, is You took it all into consideration when you drafted this decision, basically, right? Is that what you're trying to capture?
Yeah, I mean, I know in planning board decisions, I think they literally detail out every communication that they got. I don't think we need to go to that degree, but I do think we need to speak to the feedback we received, positive or negative.
Oh, there are some boards.
Is that, should it say substantial or substantive? The one above says substantive.
Oh, yeah. Good? Go. So do you want to go through these other blue conditions now, or
So what are the blue ones?
those are the new ones from Jason?
I thought we kind of just did.
So do you want me to go through these later and
Yeah.
wordsmith them and?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my expectation.
And Dan, you and I can talk about them if you like we did with the other conditions.
Can we go through all of them from the top?
You
So
wanna
we
go through
haven't,
them
we
again?
haven't discussed Dan's.
Oh,
Yeah, you want to go?
Yeah, I
one
want,
by one?
yeah, I'd like to keep going through yours. I've
Yeah.
got a couple comments on yours.
Go for it.
Actually, if you don't mind, can we take a 2-minute pause?
Sure.
Please excuse me.
Thank you.
We back?
Are we finished?
Back in session at 9:09.
Yes, thank you very much for indulging me.
So I think what we're going to try and do is go through, to the extent we need to, some of the condition, findings that Dan came up with, right?
Starting with 4. 1.
Does anyone have any comments on 1, 2, 3?
On number 2, we referenced the site as 14.5 acres on page 1. And that matches the GIS.
What did the plan say?
The plans give square footage, don't they?
What was it like getting 14?
How big's the site?
Gentlemen, if you're gonna talk, can you go out in the hallway? Sorry, but you can.
We've got 14.6.
So then page 1 needs to change.
Yeah, good catch.
What did it say?
14.5. What's a tenth of an acre among friends? Right up top.
Okay, anything else in 1, 2, 3? Okay, 4? Jason, do you have 4?
I'm sorry?
Did you have a comment on 4?
I'm taking a look. I mean, it is kind of trapezoidal, I guess. I didn't cross-check your dimensional citations. I assume they're right.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
Is there a reason, so we talk about a small portion of the site, which, I guess that could be debated, but.
Which one are we talking about?
So it's number 4.
Okay.
A small portion of the project site is in the southwest corners in the community business zoning district, and then that's all we say about that district, when we give all of the dimensional requirements for R20. I just don't know why we don't provide the same for the CB district.
For the CB.
You can?
I mean, it's all in the
It's on the
master plan sheet, sheet C2.
top left.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, you can't, you need to, in number 4, also reference the CB district. Because about 20% of the site is in the CB district. Right? Roughly. No, it's okay.
We on 6 yet? Where are we?
I'm gonna
Still
wait
on
for
4.
Dan to.
4?
We're still on 4.
Okay, sorry.
The only other thing, so what's now number 5 also specifies that multifamily housing, or what's the? So, where multifamily housing is prohibited, that would also apply to CB, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can combine these two paragraphs. I don't think it really matters. Is that the issue?
Yeah, I just want to,
Sure.
say it about both. I still think that multifamily comment
Yep.
is just talking about R20.
It's not, but I could split it off in its own paragraph. Is that-
So the part I'm talking about, the remainder of this site is within the R20 residential zoning district where multifamily housing is prohibited,
Oh, that, I see. So you want that to be also,
just to apply to both.
got it.
And the last sentence needs to be fixed.
Last sentence where?
Multifamily housing is only allowed in Grafton by right in the VMU district. There are 3 VMU districts, 4. 2 of them require a special permit and 2 of them allow by right. And by special permit, I'm reading on the remainder of the sentence, and by special permit in the RMF and FP districts. Well, there are 2 VMU districts also. RMF, special permit, and FP, yeah. So it would be allowed by right,
So you're saying in 2 of the VM, is that what you're saying?
yeah.
Okay.
So VMU SG and VMU GW are allowed by right. VMU WS rather, VMU TV are special permit.
Would it be easier just to say it's not allowed in CB and
Yeah,
rather than trying to say where it is allowed? Because
Yeah,
I could take it out.
yeah,
less is more.
We're getting really particular here.
Yeah.
These are just findings.
Yep.
These aren't legal contracts.
Yeah, so we
All
can
right.
take out the whole last sentence, right?
So I think somebody had something on 6, Dan, when you're ready to move to that point.
On 6, just the last 2 words, town well, water district well. It's not the town's well.
Grafton Water District. Wow.
Yeah.
So number 6, I would suggest be a placeholder because we do not know how the isolated wetland may contain a certifiable vernal, I mean,
Well, it's true, though.
is it true?
Is it not true?
I don't know.
It's potential vernal pool.
Okay,
May contain.
pardon me.
May, yeah.
The isolated wetland may be hydraulically connected to the groundwater that serves the town well. Is that true?
Is it hydrologically?
It's in a zone 2, so.
And is it
It probably
hydrologically or hydraulically? Hydraulic.
Yeah, not hydraulic.
Yeah, yeah.
Hydrologically. That's a mouthful.
I was there for that day.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's qualified as a maybe, I just,
Yeah.
if we're going to cite a finding, I just want it to be right, that's all.
May is a funny word. It may,
Yeah.
It may be or it may not be.
That's right.
I could have said is likely to be.
Then we'd be having more of a discussion.
Less is more.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, anything on 7?
No, not from me.
Probably, the wellhead comment probably applies there as well.
Can you look at that? I'm just asking John to look at 8. Yeah, on that last sentence, I wouldn't say prohibition's necessary. Well, we kept that as an open issue. So I'm not sure that we're going to be prohibiting de-icing chemicals. So you want to keep that open as a placeholder? Until we resolve D10? Which is going to be indelibly etched in my brain.
Okay, I'll flag that.
Okay.
And we're taking town off well and district,
Yeah.
same with the wellhead.
You're still on 8? I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was saying because it said town.
They refer,
Not the town's well, it's the
Right.
water district.
Bless you.
Was there another location there, Peter, on that?
number 8, where it says towns on a second, the second line down, towns wellhead, probably Grafton Water District or district's wellhead. And then the next one down, where it protect the town's well, district's well.
I mean, I'm up to 15 where I've got a comment. I don't know if anyone's got anything before then.
I mean, on 10, the last sentence says project will connect to the municipal water distribution system, which I guess the district could be called municipal.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
I think that's fine too. It didn't say town.
Yeah, and I think that, yeah. So, in 15, it says the applicant did not initially propose any intersection improvements. That's not really true. They did. They were gonna add that third lane, which goes back to the lip.
Was that in the beginning?
Yeah, actually, I think it's actually mentioned in the lip itself.
Yeah.
So you added a third lane, but you hadn't changed the geometry then?
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
The lip required a 75-foot turning lane.
And then the other thing is, in that same section, Dan, it says associated with at least 180 new housing units, and I understand that's correct, but why do we pick the number 180 to put there as opposed to?
Where are you?
So again, in 15, the second sentence, however, the introduction of traffic associated with at least 180 new housing units.
That's a typo.
Okay. I didn't know if maybe that came from something that the traffic engineer.
Yeah, what are we down to? 100?
200.
200.
We're 200.
We were at 298.
260.
Is it exactly 200?
Can we
Yeah,
take a
exactly
second to just internally review 12? I want you to take a look at 12.
Well, I think all of these, you can take more time to review, because it's clearly you thought there's only 4, so you haven't.
Yeah, I didn't
All
read
of
on.
these you're
I
seeing for the
certainly
first
didn't read
time.
on. Right, right.
Yeah,
So I'm kind of reading is,
I have a couple comments on 12 as well. So about midway through, talking about the traffic impact study dated August 24th, 2024, indicated that traffic generated from the project alone will cause operations at the intersection. It was
that's not true.
traffic from the project plus existing traffic, so
Yeah.
all traffic together.
Well, no, but I think
And-
you're saying that the
No, that's.
traffic generated by the project, just that addition changes it from a level E to a level F.
So it's making it sound like the problem is, so all of the traffic is coming from the project. I think maybe if we even just indicated that the incremental traffic generated by the project, and take out the word alone. The word alone is where I really have the issue.
But in addition to that, I know with or, in the future, with or without us, it would go to an F.
No, I thought it didn't. I thought
It
the no
didn't.
build was not F. I thought your build was F and the no build was not.
I think in, projected into the future, it was going to become an F.
I mean, I just read this a couple days ago. I could have sworn.
All right.
Yeah, so no build, 2028,
No.
AM peak was E, it's currently an E. and no build PM peak in 2028. It's currently a D. In 2028, the no build is E. Both of the build scenarios go to F.
I thought it was going to go to an F. With the no build, say that again in 2028?
So PM peak currently is a D. In the no build 2028, it goes to an E. In the build 2028, it goes to an F.
Oh, so.
How far does it extrapolate?
Those are just the three
Okay,
data points: current, no build 2028, and build 2028.
got it.
So you want me to strike the word alone? Is that the issue?
I would, I don't think it really adds anything.
I mean,
But I think
the point I was getting
incremental,
at was that it's not,
It's a different,
I thought it went to an F.
it's,
I mean, you can.
it's compared to no build. Like, it's the build scenario is what's causing this to go to F.
But it's not,
I didn't mean to be pejorative. It's,
Yeah.
that's just, it is what it is.
But it-
But if it sounds pejorative, I'll take it out. It wasn't.
but I like Brian's inclusion of incremental,
Incremental traffic.
but we could also say by 2028 or in 2028.
And then in the last line, the data point where delays getting through that intersection will be more than twice as long than if the project was not built. That was only the AM peak. The PM peak didn't double. So if we're being that specific, I don't know if we have to be that specific, but if we're going to be that specific, that only pertains to the AM peak.
I went to the assessors the other day. I've been curious for a long time. There's 8 streets off of Snow Road, 2 ways out, either East Street or Worcester Street. And there's 415 registered cars right now.
Well, you have time on your hands.
No, actually, I called them and I said, would it take long for you to figure this out through excise taxes? And at first, Tammy and Megan, they had to think about it, and so I said, I'll be right down, because they said we might be able to, and somehow they did it in like 5 minutes. Did every street. I can tell you every number on every street, whatever the date was that they had available, but my point is we're doubling the traffic now with just 400 in the development.
Well, wait a minute, so, say that again, so 400 cars
There's 415 registered cars
for how
between
many houses?
162. So,
So more than double.
93 cars in
Yeah.
the house. I'm joyous.
I mean, there might not be 436
Yeah, okay.
houses, cars in this development, but
Right,
it's
right.
just,
Yep.
I am very disappointed in both traffic engineers, to be honest with you. On my own 40B, I had to change my road. You never saw it, the first one.
Okay.
I had to change it because my traffic engineer said you got to move it up the hill for sight distance.
Okay.
And this, both traffic engineers say nobody's going to go towards East Street. And that bothers me because I don't believe it. Because I use that road as a cutoff to go to East Street all the time, to go to Institute, to go to the train station area. But
All right, so where are we in the findings?
13? Or are we still on 12?
I think we passed that. Do you want to go back? Any other comments on traffic access?
I don't have anything to what was 17.
So we're gonna, some of this stuff is really highly technical, and I'm gonna
That's
rely
fine.
on
And-
the
and-
technical team to kind of review some of this stuff for.
We're gonna start running out of time as well, so.
Yeah.
You know, I think if there's any gross issues, let's talk about them, and then I think, you know, we're gonna have to
Sure.
probably come back with more detailed issues.
That's fair. I mean, we're coming back anyways.
What's currently 16, we talk about including easements from the Grafton Housing Authority. I don't know if we want to say permanent versus temporary and/or land takings. But then we go on to say Grafton Town Meeting approval for a new snow road layout. I think we talked about town meeting having to approve any permanent easements or takings. I don't think the layout would go in front of town meeting. So I'm just cleaning up that language.
Right here, 17.
Yeah, I mean, technically, it's not the layout, you're right, it's the acquisition of the real estate
The easement or
interest
the- or the
that's
land.
shown in the layout.
Right.
So, Do you wanna actually go into that level of detail? Like, I was just being more informal in the wording. I can be more technical if you want.
We could leave it general as Grafton Town Meeting approvals and just not specify what the approvals would be for.
I mean, and there will be temporary and permanent easements required to accommodate, build out this layout, so there always are.
Yeah, you're only proposing easements though, right? You're not proposing to buy land and fee from the housing authority?
I don't know, you know, this is where I'd love to get feedback from the town. I don't know what they contemplate. Really, a taking of a property interest is a taking of a property interest. So if that means a taking in fee or a taking in easement, it really doesn't matter to me or the project team as long as we can accommodate the DOT layout on Worcester Road.
Did we get feedback from the housing authority today?
Oh, did you?
They were asking a question as to when all of this would be happening. I'm like, we're still in public hearing, so the question was.
So we still don't have a lawyer for the housing authority, right?
No.
EOHLC.
So the
But they're not their
question,
lawyer. That's not, they really should have their own counsel.
That's, you're preaching to the choir.
Yeah, I advised them 2 months ago.
Brian, you
yes,
free?
they asked how far along we were in, and I.
And they're gonna say, we're not paying for a, a lawyer.
Do we know anybody in the housing authority?
Huh?
Do we know anybody in the housing authority? Any board members?
I mean, we know who they are, obviously, but I don't
I
necessarily.
mean, we've had interaction with.
No, I mean,
housing.
I don't know if I'm just assuming they would say, you're gonna have to provide us with money for a lawyer. Or somebody's gonna have to provide us money with a lawyer, for a lawyer.
I mean, we start with the notion that we, as a development team, are, fully expect to step up and do all of the work, which was going to be my offer to the town. I'll draft the town meeting warrant. I will do all of the work. John will do all of the engineering work. We've already resigned to that. If we need, and we do, the second set of eyes for the housing authority, who we have interacted with. It's the town we have had trouble reaching on this very specific issue, and I don't know why. I suspect, giving them the benefit, that they probably want you to finish.
But the housing authority is a separate entity.
They're a separate entity
They should
entirely.
really have their own counsel because
Sure.
they're giving up land.
Sure,
So, that-
Can-
without a doubt.
Dan, can they,
Nothing from-
is their parcel big enough for them to give some away without
Do you have the
going in
thinking
front of planning board? Or ZBA to
Well,
get a
it's
variance?
an easement. They're not giving
An
up-
easement?
Oh, you're talking about for frontage?
Yeah,
purposes
anything like
and
that.
Impacting their zoning dimensional,
Yeah,
have we even undertaken that level of,
They have quite a bit of frontage.
yeah.
I don't
But,
think their frontage
setbacks?
would change.
What's that?
I don't think their frontage distance would change.
No.
Setback.
No.
Actually, it might get
setbacks.
bigger because of the curve, but,
Setback, not frontage, but setback.
Setbacks.
well, or the, if they need a certain size, dimensional, like you said.
Oh, area, lot area.
We haven't even looked at that.
Yeah, so let's get refocused on.
I mean, it's
the,
coming back to you if that's the case, so.
But this is again.
Well, that's what I'm afraid of.
But Peter, this is why they need an attorney. Like this is,
Right.
they're not,
But that's not in the decision, so let's get refocused on the decision.
Yeah.
We're quickly running out of time here this evening.
okay, so no more finding questions? Or we're tabling that to the next meeting?
Just to note that the last sentence of that last finding. gets to-
17?
Yeah, it gets to a point that, I don't know that the board has come to resolution on. In terms of, completion of the snow road improvement is a prerequisite to the issuance of building permits. You know, we've kicked it around and talked about it a lot, but I don't know if we've decided that that's the threshold we were landing on.
And if I may, through the chair, I think the last we left that conversation was, yes, we understand you want the work done prior to the issuance of a building permit, but we talked about keeping the spirit and intent of that sentiment, if you will, but massaging it a little bit, to perhaps allow certain things to happen at the site, like site prep, that type of thing, maybe non-building permit activities, and maybe
So-
revisiting when we get the DOT approvals and the town meeting approvals, we may.
Right, so.
Yeah.
We did talk about that, and
Yeah.
we can, you know, I don't want to hop around, so when we get to that particular part of the decision, we can try, we're going to have to nail down what that language is going to be.
And then make the
We can
parallel.
go back to
Right.
here at that time. if we have
Correct,
to.
correct. So placeholder on the last sentence then.
A prerequisite to what, I think is the
Yeah.
question.
Correct.
Okay, so condition A1, we did make that change. I think we made this change a while ago that it was before any construction that requires a building permit, you have to submit your revised set of plans to the board for final approval.
Which would go along with the landscape, so.
So you can begin site work.
Right.
So on A2, we've always had language that required the site plan to be recorded, the approved site plan to be recorded at the registry of deeds. This is your strikeout.
I don't mind the site plan itself. I do mind the full set of approved plans. I just, I've never seen it, number one, where a full set of plans in addition to the decision were recorded. Maybe
Always.
practice of this
I mean, I can look it up right now
Town?
to see if we can check to see if the last 4 or 5 40B projects in Grafton have recorded the full sets.
They
We've always had this
They
language.
have,
They have.
because they come in and sign the Mylars, and trust me, I've had 50 pages laid out in here.
Yep.
And have 6 sets of pens, so we don't run out of ink for them to sign.
But then what happens when they inevitably get changed? Do you come back with more Mylars, a mandatory modified plans? I mean,
Only-
it's just
so if-
onerous.
So
Yeah.
what they've done in the past, whatever section of that Mylar has been changed, that page, not the whole set, but like
Right.
that page or that section, a new Mylar comes in, that one Mylar gets voted on, approved, and signed, and gets refiled.
But I guess my question is, what's the purpose of this? I mean, you have a set of plans that are maintained by the town, easily accessible. What's the purpose of recording the plans? The full set of 50
It's part of the
pages of?
decision and part of the comprehensive permit, like any 48 decision that has an exhibit that's attached to it. I mean, I've been here 15 years and
Yep.
every 40B has been full sets of plans and Mylars have been.
Oh,
filed.
sure, I don't doubt that.
The purpose is so that the general public or somebody who might have an interest in the site, or a title examiner, might have a question about some drainage issue, or who knows, they want to see the full set. Yeah, could they go into town hall on a day that Katrina is there, and yes, they can do that. If the plans don't get lost, they don't, whatever. But it's customary to record things at the registry so that there's no, it's there electronically. Everyone can access it from their computer.
It's customary to record issues of title. You're talking about recording technical site construction plans. I've never heard of it, even in the 40A context.
They're not construction plans.
You're talking about stormwater management plans. The approved plans are not just a site plan. It's a grading plan. It's things that, details that far exceed any issues of title. And it just, the town of Grafton does it this way. The town of Grafton is an outlier. I've never seen it. It's the first time. A site plan, yes, that shows the perimeter of the property, the boundaries, maybe even some topo, some basic information about the property, but I've never seen a full set.
Do we know?
And that's what that strikeout is motivated by,
Do we know what
that's
the
all.
planning board does for subdivisions?
Oh,
It's just a
subdivisions get recorded.
Just a property plan.
The grading plan and the subdivision plan set doesn't get recorded?
No.
No, it's just the property plans.
Showing the lots and so forth.
Yeah,
And we could consult with there's no planner, right?
Oh, no, there is now, Christian.
Okay.
You just started 2 weeks
Well,
ago.
I mean, we could figure out what the planning board does historically, and if all they do is record one sheet, then we could be consistent with that.
I'll send him an
I,
email.
I mean, respectfully, I see the opposite. I mean, every town that I've worked in, I've seen plans, all sheets recorded. So your experience is different from mine. It doesn't mean you're right or I'm wrong. But I think it's probably best to be consistent with the town's practice, and
Yeah, that's my thing as well. That's what we've been doing, and I haven't really even heard any objection to it, until now.
So I happen to live in a development built by a friend. And there's a subdivision, and there's an 18-sheet plan set on file,
For where?
including landscaping and
What town?
Grafton,
What subdivision?
Millstone Drive.
I did that.
I mentioned it the first night.
That came to us as a 40B before it became the double hammerhead.
It was a 40B before it wasn't.
The full, typically it's just the property.
all right, so if the town,
Anyways,
if there's a practice in the town to record all the sheets, I think we should just record all the sheets.
Let's just leave it and move on.
okay. Just point of clarification, do you have to cut off at 10 or take a vote, or?
We're gonna have to take a vote, and this member's voting no, I'll tell you that right now.
I'm sorry?
I said this member's voting no as far as going beyond 10 o'clock.
After 10.
So do you want to cut it off now? I'm not telling you or
I'm-
asking what
well-
to do, but aren't you going to open it up to public comment? And
I was getting there.
Yeah.
I was getting there.
seems like now might be a good place to just stop.
Okay.
If you want to do that.
Does anyone have any issues through the rest of the decision that they really think we should get on the table and discuss? I guess maybe I want to go down to I had it here, I lost it, where we talk about no building permits. So I guess that's C1.
Yes,
Let me,
I have that circled.
So, I mean, basically, we're sticking with no building permit until that work is completed. And is the board's comfortable with that, right? I think that's what the board wants. I'm good with it.
And that,
That's the intersection.
This is the intersection work we're talking about.
and building permit means foundation, right?
So they can do site work, they can do all the site work.
Yep, they can do site work unless you tell Tracy that you want to phased it and you could issue a foundation. But if you want no permits whatsoever, they can't even get a foundation and a phased-in permit.
That's,
Wait a minute. They can do site work. We're
They
not
can
talking
do
about,
site
there's
work.
no phasing going
Yeah,
on in this
there's,
project.
No.
they can do site work.
They can
So
do all the site work.
Yep, so they can go in and
Okay.
get like all the underground stuff and that stuff in that they need to get in. The drainage, the pipes and all that stuff in.
And then, as stated, we
Yeah.
have modified permits before, so, we just come back and when the time comes and, everything's imminent and.
And I think though, to that point, capturing all of that, what would at least be helpful is not to preclude our ability to apply for a building permit. It just wouldn't be issued. Because a building permit application takes several months to prepare.
That certainly seems reasonable.
I mean, that as written,
But what does it say? Does it say,
I just want to make sure that we wouldn't be precluded from even starting the process.
now the building inspector may turn around and say, well, I can't issue it, so I'm not even gonna acknowledge it.
She might, I mean, she has done that because it's, they're gonna have to go to third-party review for the fire and everything else, so it could take a couple months. It took Jay McGill,
But if she's
Like-
not gonna even look at it because she can't issue it until that work is done, it defeats the purpose.
not necessarily, because she'll look at it, because again, it's gonna have to get sent out to third-party review, and that in and of itself could take a month to 2 months.
Right,
Exactly.
that's the issue that they're bringing up. I
Right,
just wanna
so-
make sure that and I
And-
think they want to also make sure
Yeah,
that
I mean, she has, but, because she won't even start looking at it, she'll look at it to an extent, and then stop till we get all the third-party review stuff in.
I think that needs to be addressed in this decision, so that if you have a change in building inspectors that takes a different approach and says, I'm not even looking at it, I'm not gonna call peer review until this condition is satisfied, and then you can start.
Go ahead, Brian.
Because keep in mind, we also have final approval through EOHLC that we have to deal with.
Yep, understood.
So the condition says prior to the commencement of construction activities. Construction activities is defined as, before the commencement of any construction, requiring a building permit, and all of that is what's defined as construction activities. So to me, if I wanted to read this as, can Tracy issue a building permit? I'd say she can even issue a building permit. We're just saying they can't actually start construction with that permit until they've finished the off-site work. Now, would Tracy or somebody else read that differently, or would a lawyer read that differently?
Again,
I don't
that's,
know, but.
yeah, depending on the,
But to the applicant's point, I'm fine with adding language that makes it clear that they can apply for a building permit and the building inspector should start working it ahead of time. I'm okay with adding that
yeah,
language. Go, add away, propose something or work with
Okay.
Dan or whatever to get something in there that accomplishes that. I'm fine with that.
When do you allow them to start site work?
It's gotta be defined here somewhere, but it's not related to this.
It's related to the intersection, though. I would rather not see sewer pipe going in the ground before the intersection is approved and started.
So if you notice my comment at the end, I just suggest we may want to break this up between option A work and the intersection improvements to kind of that point. So what are we talking about here as the condition precedent to commencing construction activities? Is it the intersection work at Snow Road and Worcester Street? Yes, right?
Yeah.
It's not the work, although you're gonna do it all at the same time, I would imagine.
Right.
right?
Yeah.
It's
they're gonna
not to work
mobilize.
up on
They're gonna
Snow
mobilize,
Road.
but
The option
they-
A work.
if they, the longer
John.
it, the longer it takes them, I get a bad foot, that's why.
That's, I know, I'm sorry.
The longer it takes them to go vertical, there is a motivation to get the intersection done because they want to go vertical. They want to get a building built. They want to get an occupancy. They want to get people in there. So it's not like they're going to say, let's hold off on the intersection. Let's go start pushing dirt around. They want to get the intersection done because they want to go vertical.
Well, that's what I want to make sure gets done first.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't want to get in a position where they've got a lot of sewer pipe in the ground and drainage and all this stuff, and then say to us, the state won't let us do this. Then what happens? Then they're gonna say, let us build the buildings anyways.
you know, they may, whether something's in the ground or not.
I just want to make sure the state has okayed this thing before anything starts.
But
Well, that's what we said right at the beginning.
I suppose maybe approvals or something, but, you know, what I thought we discussed was, you know, when they're doing the site, they're gonna have the same equipment and that sort of thing available and working and just do it all at once. And I think you basically agree with that.
Yeah.
I think what you're concerned about is you don't want them starting until we know the state's gonna say.
Correct.
So
And they can,
I'm okay with
as long
saying,
as they start both at the same time, I don't care, but that means they gotta have
they gotta have the state
the
approval.
state approved, the town okayed
If-
with everything.
I'm okay if somebody wants to try and get that language into the
That's,
condition.
that's what we got Dan for.
So state it again in plain terms. You want to
So-
allow,
So, here we go. We basically have been saying that they can do everything except the building permit stuff. They can do all the site work before completion of the intersection.
Right.
And really what Peter's saying is, wait a second, we probably shouldn't do site work until the state approves the intersection. In other words, don't start the site work and then we find out later that we can't even
okay,
do the
but
intersection.
that's going back on what we had agreed to.
Well, just a little bit.
Going back on what?
I thought we had agreed to let them do their site work. We actually had language in here that says the applicant may commence, right here, the applicant may commence site preparation and clearing activities which do not require a building permit prior to compliance with this section C1.
At first, we said we wanted the intersection totally done before they could even get on their site. So
So
we've come a long
I
way.
think what you're saying is that I would take this out.
Well, just tweak it to,
You're okay with what? You're okay with them starting the site work at the same time as they apply for the state permit?
No, I want to see the state permits first,
Okay.
then start both. That's what I prefer. I want to make sure the state's okay with this, because they're the ones that hold the ticket.
Colin Babcock. Yeah, so, yeah, we're okay with that. Realistically, we wouldn't start site work until we had all the approvals, the land taking, the DOT approval, and we knew there was a definitive date we were going to actually start that work and we could roll into it, because there's a whole other part of it that goes into it with the financing and all that stuff, so we're fine with that.
Okay, so it sounds like then this first sentence should say, prior to the commencement of any site preparation activities and construction activities.
No, it already says this. It says, and shall complete the Snow Road reconstruction work in compliance with the reference state and
it's
local
completing the
comments.
work.
Yeah, right.
You had a different, somewhere where it talked about the site work.
It says the
Well, I had a-
applicant
I had a
shall
sentence-
obtain all.
I had a sentence here before that
approvals
said
from the
that
state.
they
Yeah.
could start the site work, but you're saying now you don't want them to start the site work.
Well, we can, but post approval of the DOT permit.
Yeah. I think we just want to add the DOT permit
Is first.
there somewhere.
And when you say construction activities, it should be building construction.
Well, construction activities
No,
are
it's a
fine.
defined.
Can we just say the sequence
Yeah, I'm
of
sorry, I
this?
misunderstood. You're okay if they get the DOT permit, but to start the site work. They don't need to finish the project.
No,
No.
no.
Yeah,
Just- They need the DOT
just the-
permit.
I missed
permitting.
that, I missed that nuance, okay.
It's
the
the
permit.
DOT permit, that's the condition precedent, is that right?
To start
Yes.
the site work.
Just the
Start the site
DOT permit.
Yep.
Right.
Then you can start
So right
both.
here, I'm gonna add,
The other-
provided that the applicant has obtained
I can't read it from here.
all approvals.
Anyone in the public wants to speak this evening?
Where are you tweaking?
Do we have any people
Dan.
online?
It's right here.
Okay.
There's 2 people online, but they don't have their
Can
hand
you
up.
see it?
No raised hands?
Nope.
Okay. All right. We need to start thinking about
Send me what you-
continuation date.
Tomorrow, if you don't mind. Awesome.
Yeah, my eyes,
Dan, can you add
I can't see it that distance.
something
I can't
for the,
The bifocals
know.
are screwing me
for
up.
the avoidance of confusion or something like that? The sequence shall be DOT permit approval,
Yeah.
site work, intersection completion, building permit issuance.
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
And in the interim, we can apply for final approval in the building permit and tee up all of the peer review and all of that.
Yeah, and you could say, after the DOT approval, site work can commence and application, the building permit application can commence.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that's what
And final approval.
So, how much time do we need before our next meeting?
it's the wordsmithing, guys.
Do we have any other meetings on our schedule right now? How about that? Tell you right now, we're not doing the 18th. I'm not doing the 18th. It's my birthday.
Didn't you do it last year?
Yes,
on
I
your
did.
birthday?
He did. He was here last.
Thank you for remembering.
Yeah, and he was supposed to be at the Taste of Shrewsbury. They had tickets for it, and his wife he was here.
And we do have tickets for Taste of Shrewsbury Street again this year,
Good.
and I am
You
going.
need to go.
So I will not be here the 18th.
So 2 weeks is the 25th, 3 weeks is the,
How much?
July
cou-
2nd.
Couple weeks' time, is that good? How are people on the 25th?
I'm fine the 25th.
I'm good.
I could do the 25th.
Yeah, I could do the 25th.
I can do the 25th.
Well, I should probably actually open this and make sure I can do it.
Is that enough time?
I don't know how much time we need for what we're doing, and that's kind of you guys.
Is it the intent to close the hearing on the 25th?
That'd be great.
That would be awesome.
That'd be really
Is that the intent? Is that the realistic intent?
that would be nice.
It seems like it should be. To be honest, I was thinking, could we do it tonight? Could we close it tonight? We can't. So I think we're close. So yes, I think that would be
Okay.
ideal.
And really, we're only waiting for externally, we're only waiting for the feedback from the Conservation Commission?
I sent
And the health
emails tonight
department.
while we were here. I
Awesome.
sent them both emails. Leah's out, but I sent it to Jan and I sent it to Annette, so hopefully I get an answer
Can I
tomorrow or Monday.
just ask a follow-up on the last point? So if they have Mass DOT approval, they can start site prep. Do they also need town meeting approval? And do they need to have the easements from the Grafton Housing Authority? Because to my mind, those are,
Yeah, that would be all included, of course.
They go hand in hand, but I think that
not
the DOT.
necessarily, they could be sequenced. And
Well, the DOT permit, I don't think, the DOT permit will issue conditioned upon that. I don't think the DOT permit is going to be withheld until that happens, right?
I'm not sure about that. I don't know if Mass DOT would withhold their
We talked
permit
about this.
without getting site control. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think they will. I think they will require,
We're
The
discussing,
requisite-
so the question is, does the board want all three of those things lined up before site work? Or is it just the Mass DOT permit that you want lined up?
I want it ready to go. And that means everything, myself.
I agree.
Okay.
Agree.
All right,
I-
I've drafted,
I'm fine with that. I think the Mass DOT permit's gonna be the toughest one.
Yeah.
So I would be okay with just that as well, but I'm okay with either
I don't
one.
want any, myself, I don't want any out, any reason to
I'm good with that.
come in front of this board and say we can't do the intersection, whether it's their fault or not.
Yep.
Nobody
I'm with you.
needs that.
Yeah, Danny, if you could just check on the 25th for me, please.
I'm good at 25th.
All right, so at this time, I'd entertain a motion to continue case number 910 to June 25th at 7 PM.
Second.
So moved.
No, Bill's the chairman. Oh,
Oh, sorry, so
you
moved.
first.
Yeah, yeah, first. I forgot.
I'm
Thinking
totally,
you being
as long
the
as you
chairman.
know who did what.
Second.
And we have nobody on, so all in favor?
I need
Or
a
do I have to
motion.
do this in roll? No, I don't, do I?
I did say at the beginning of the meeting it'd be roll call, but I don't know.
So who made the motion to adjourn?
We haven't got there yet.
Oh,
We
sorry.
just continued.
Okay,
Oh, just continued, okay.
okay. And Bill and Jason, don't leave. I printed the continuance, so we
Okay.
can both sign it tonight.
I'm not going
I
anywhere.
turn the meeting over to Mr. Waller.
I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you very much.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.